Light.
Life is good.
Stay tuned for press box.
You don't want to put that Winnipeg power play on the ice if you can avoid it. There's the stick into the midsection of Zemnov. He embellishes that little dive of his right now, but Trottier buys into it. I got to agree with the call with the referee. You go back to the beginning of the season, you remember that would have been an obvious call of the official. They've been letting a little bit of the stick work go in the last few weeks. But I believe that David Sacco was guilty on that play. Zemnov able to draw the penalty early on.
So they are going to whistle off coincidental minors here, Brian. Ironically, David Sacco gets the gate for hooking, and Alexei Zemnov runs sportsmanlike conduct, so the Ducks catch a huge break there.
The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is called because Zemnov did embellish the dive. That's a good call by Trottier.
So, 4-on-4 hockey. Jason York quarterbacks to the far board, and stepping up for Anaheim is Bobby Dulles. On his own blue line, Dave Manson throws it to the wide side. Norm McIver takes refuge back in his own net. Tkachuk to Teemu Solani. Ahead to Manson. He's taken off the puck by Jason York. Dulles throws it into an open corner. York peels back. He's got a couple of players in motion to his right, and there's the feed to Krieger on the fly. Krieger steps up over the line. Drops off a pass to Corkum. Shoots well wide of the net. Here comes Tkachuk. Back to the blue line. He's got Solani up the middle. Looks off a check. Moves inside. Shoots and just misses.
Tell you what, that's a huge save by Guy Hebert early on in this hockey game. Because when you have Solani and Tkachuk bearing down on you, know that either one of those players has the potential of making the proper play on the goalkeeper.
55 seconds remain in the 4-on-4 opportunity. Jets have outscored their opponents in similar situations 4-3. The Ducks 7-2. Korea looking for the pass. It never materializes. Ducks regroup at center ice.
It's really one of the most surprising statistics for the Mighty Ducks. You figure these more mature clubs that have a lot more talent offensively would be a lot more successful in the 4-on-4 situation. That certainly has not been the case this year. Credit the discipline of the Ducks for that.
Darren Turcotte takes the puck back, turns back in over the line. Turcotte looking for a trailer in the deep slot area. Throws over to Quinn. His wrist shot is blocked out front by Captain Randy Ladouceur. He gets taken down. Turcotte again from a deep angle. And there was Guy Hebert to close the pads quickly and make a fine save.
You know, that last little shot attempt by Darren Quinn where the Winnipeg blue liner just gets a hold of the puck and risks it towards the net is something you're going to see an awful lot of from these Winnipeg defensemen. Teppo Newman, probably the best guy in the National Hockey League at getting those point shots on the net.
Ron Wilson makes wholesale player changes. Both players out of the penalty box. Teams are back at full strength. Eastwood knights his way in traffic. King slap shot deflected back to center ice. Played in deep by Finley. Along the near board, Oleg Tverdovsky's right side feed. Chopped back inside the blue line of Anaheim. Tverdovsky will take it back. Van Allen's outlet pass just got a little bit too much of the puck and lifted it outside the playing surface. Southwest Airlines scoreboard tells you the story from Winnipeg.
I'm sold on you. I'm sold on you.
It's Toyota's giant truck event. For a limited time, you'll save big on a huge selection of T100s and Tacomas. On every 4x2, 4x4, and extra cab. You can even lease a Tacoma for just $149 a month. So get over to your Toyota dealer's giant truck event today.
I'm sold on you.
When you're in Los Angeles and you've got Miller Lite,
Life is good.
I can always use a cold. Oh, yeah. So many beaches, so little time. Nice shot. Whoa, look at that.
Icy, cold, chilly.
Fiesta. Great bars, no doubt. Cerveza fría, por favor. Yeah, so it goes something like this. You're in LA. You got Miller Lite. Life is good.
Here's a look at that last 2-on-1 for the Winnipeg Jets. It's Tkachuk and Solani. Nice play by David Carper to take away the passing lane, and an equally fine save by Guy Hebert early on. And it's so important, we keep talking about this, for Hebert to come up large. Beginning of the hockey games, seems that the Ducks just seem to gather a lot more confidence as games progress if the opposing team cannot jump out to a lead.
Brian, let's take a look at some of the players out of tonight's lineups.
Remember, Ron Wilson shuffled his lineup last game in Chicago. He sat out Todd Krieger, amongst other people. Those fellows returned to the lineup. Valerie Karpov, who was in, Karnbach, and Stephen King, who all played last game. Well, they're up in the press box, not too far away from us, Chris, tonight. Ron Wilson trying to shuffle his lineup to try and generate a little bit more action from his guys. He's not happy with this team, the way this team has performed in the last few weeks, and certainly, as we talked about in our open tonight, the first period has been a huge problem.
Tempo Newman, and wrist shot batted out of midair by Bob Corkum. He'll take over out of the corner. He gets stood up by Keith Tkachuk. That frees up Jason York. His left wing beat is tipped inside the zone by Dulles. Watch out the icing call. At the point, York chops it in back of the net. Todd Krieger met there by Darren Quinn. Todd Hewen enters the fray as Krieger takes over out of the corner. Tries to cycle the puck back down low. The Jets are able to muscle it back to center ice, and here comes Alexei Zhemnov. And over the line, Solani trying to go top shelf and missed everything. Jason York steps up for Anaheim. He'll headman the puck to Todd Hewen. He'll throw it in diagonally.
Tell you what, that Alexei Zhemnov, every time he handles the puck, it just amazes me how smooth he is. He always seems to make the right decision with it.
Along the near boards, Robert Dirt. Foot race to the loose puck. Beats Mike Stapleton to it, but gives it up along the near boards. Joe Sacco must cut back to help out. Oleg Tverdovsky's wide side feed picked off by Norm McIver, but Chad Kilger takes it back and churns through center ice. Kilger to the blue line of Winnipeg. Right side feed. Sacco's one-time shot sailed wide of the net. Dirt steps up at the left point. Along the backboard, Dave Manson plays it free to the near side. Alex Hicks steps up for Anaheim. Manson takes it back and clears back to the blue line of Anaheim. Game just over 5 minutes old. 2 shots on goal for Winnipeg and 1 for the Mighty Ducks.
Teemu Solani, I tell you what, one of the fastest players in the National Hockey League. A couple of rumors circulating in and around Winnipeg that perhaps the Jets might be unwilling to unload Solani for a couple of young defensemen. There's the big shot by Solani. He just rips that one right over top of the crossbar. Joe Sacco on young Darren Quinn, taking the man in the offensive zone. We mentioned the fact that if there is an area where the Jets are vulnerable, it is back of the blue line. The more pressure the Mighty Duck forwards can apply to that young Winnipeg defense in behind Tim Cheveldae, well, I think they'll reap the benefits down the line.
They're going to rule that the Ducks' Jeff Findlay dragged the puck in offside and won't get a whistle.
Gary Vault, pretty consistent performer over the last little while. 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. In his last 8 games, you can see he's been very productive against the Winnipeg Jets this season.
Lifetime against the Jets, 22 games played, 4 goals, 5 assists, 9 points. Zhemnov steps up. He's taken off the puck. Big back, loose puck, top of the circle, cranked towards the net by Shane Doan, but the Ducks take it back. Here comes David Sacco. His left wing feed to Correa. Picked up by Finley in the far corner. He gets rubbed out there. To the line, David Karpa chops one off the mark. Finley steps up for Winnipeg. Cutting over the loose puck. Shane Doan will give it up to Gary Volk at center ice. He'll throw it in deep and peel back to the bench. Dallas Drake to Zhemnov. He tries to go wide side on Hebert, and he just got the webbing on it. Along the backboard, Sean Van Allen pops the puck high in the air, takes it back out of the corner, deals to David Sacco. Bobby Dulles steps up. Dulles waits for players to get back into the flow. Sillinger hauls the puck down, sails one right through the crease. Long slap shot and on goal, easily sticked aside by Tim Cheveldae. York will try it again and right out front of his own net. Tempo Newman and quickly as Solani in a transitional game. There's the feed, they score! What a pass, Solani to Tkachuk, and he just picks it out of midair and redirects it past Hebert. 6:30 into this one. Jets on top.
You know, there just aren't many players in the National Hockey League that have this ability that Tkachuk has, and that is to knock down those aerial passes. Tremendous eye-hand coordination. We said before the game that Tkachuk had 5 goals in his last 3 games. I'm told that all 5 of them were on deflections. He just got his 6th one tonight. Look at a concentration by Tkachuk. It deflects off of Bobby Dallas. No chance whatsoever for the goalkeeper, Hebert.
Sillinger tests Cheveldae from a sharp angle. 24th goal of the year for Keith Tkachuk, tops on the glove. Teemu Selanne breaks free from Sean Van Allen. Selanne drops it off Red. Oh, check the return feed back to the net as Selanne sized up by Steve Ruchin. Along the near board, Dallas tries to weave to the outside. Drops it off for Sillinger from the perimeter. He caught the right shoulder of Tim Cheveldae. We're going to get a whistle, and power play hockey apparently awaits Anaheim when we return on KCAP. Stay with us.
For Southern California residents only, bigger, bolder adventures at Disneyland are rolled back to just $24. Experience the thrills of the Indiana Jones adventure, plus all the legendary magic of Disneyland for one low price. So bring your friends, Southern California. This offer will blow you away. It's only $24. Come have a ball at Disneyland before it's too late.
I'm sold on you. I'm sold on you.
Now you can get incredible deals on Toyota's best-selling cars, Camry and Corolla. You can lease a new 96 Camry for only $229 a month, or you can get a low-price lease on a new Corolla for only $189 a month. The choice is yours at your Toyota dealer today.
I'm sold on you.
Attention hockey fans, you can now sign up for the 96-97 Mighty Ducks season tickets on the priority season ticket waiting list. Call 714-704-2701 to reserve your place in line and guarantee your seat to all the action next season. Mighty Ducks operators are standing by Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 714-704-2701 this week.
David Sacco returns to the Mighty Ducks lineup. Sacco, of course, had missed the last 10 games due to arthroscopic knee surgery. Sacco tossed out with Todd Krieger at Alex Hicks for the ensuing faceoff. Paul Kariya and Oleg Tverdovsky will man the point. Some discussion, though, as to where they are spotting this faceoff, Brian.
I think the faceoff moves outside because it was determined that the Ducks shot that puck out of play, that it did not indeed deflect off a Winnipeg Jet player before leaving the ice surface.
You're scoring with us at home. Keith Tkachuk's 24th of the year from Selanne and Numminen at 6:30. Difference in the game. Mike Stapleton takes it back and clears the puck the length of the ice.
2 very experienced defensive forwards that play the top of that box for the Winnipeg Jets in the penalty killing unit. I gotta believe that Terry Simpson has instructed his players to constantly pressure the puck.
Paul Kariya to Alex Hicks. Bank pass back to Kariya in the deep slot. Wrist shot made its way to Cheveldae. Rebound. Hicks hit the side of the net. Puck comes to rest there. Players fall down on top of it. Todd Krieger draws the whistle and will get a stoppage in play. Minute 24 remains on the Ducks power play.
Boy, oh boy, I think Alex Hicks would like to have this opportunity back. Here's the point shot coming in from Kariya. Look at Cheveldae. Leaves the rebound, and he's down and out of the play. Hicks gets the opportunity. In the back of his mind, he's trying to get that puck up into the top portion of the net. He just doesn't seem to get all of that puck. Perhaps it started to roll up on edge just before he released the shot. Those are the types of opportunities that the Ducks have got to bury on the power play.
Hicks has 10 points thus far this season, none of which have come on the power play. Hicks will center for Krieger with Sacco moving off to the left wing. Kariya still at one point, but Bobby Dallas takes over the other. Mike Eastwood along the near boards, chops it back inside the blue line of Anaheim, and Hebert is out to leave it for Dallas. 12 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the opening period. Minute 10 seconds remaining on the Selanne penalty. Jets lead the hockey game 1-0. Dallas with a head fake, drives the puck in deep. Cheveldae will leave it. Numminen cuts over. Nifty move around David Sacco, and he's going to draw the penalty. Numminen with terrific moves in close quarters draws the whistle.
Boy, you don't often see David Sacco go into the penalty box twice in just one period. Both for infractions in the offensive zone, and it's going to be a little hook right there. He gets beaten cleanly on the move by Numminen. Newcomb's one of those guys that just has that ability to handle the puck with his head up all the time, and that's what allows him to dodge that forechecking pressure being applied by Ron Wilson's Mighty Ducks. Ron just shaking his head a little bit right there. There's 2 penalties in the offensive zone by David Sacco, both stick infractions. I think Ron would be quite happy to see the odd charging penalty or something like that, perhaps an elbowing penalty, but you see those stick infractions, and usually that means that your club isn't playing physical enough.
So 4-on-4 hockey, second time we've seen this situation here tonight. That'll last for the next 55 seconds and ticking as it's played back inside the Anaheim zone. Hebert out to swipe it with one again to Jason York. York gives it up back of the net. Jets come charging with Darren Quint misplaying the puck, and that frees up Steve Ruchin along the far board. Ruchin to York all alone, moves it on Cheveldae, big save, and Cheveldae didn't really have full control of the loose puck. But obviously, in the eyes of Richard Trottier, he had lost sight of it, and now we're going to get a whistle.
Well, I can't believe this, but I think Trottier is going to whistle one of the Mighty Ducks for a penalty right here. Here's the rush. Look at this nice little feed by Ruchin. Little touch pass for Jason York. He gets the shot away. Now, Cheveldae does not have that puck, and you see Mike Sillinger almost able to bat home the rebound. Both Sillinger and Steve Ruchin are going to start whacking at this puck right here. Not sure exactly who the penalty was called against. Jason York is going to get a penalty. I'm not sure for what. Boy, that's a tough, tough call for Ron Wilson's Mighty Ducks to accept.
Obviously, Ron Wilson concurs with you, Brian Hayward, as he barks something out in the direction of referee Richard Trottier. But for now, it falls on deaf ears, and the Ducks are in a 4-on-3 situation, but for just the next 35 seconds. Then it'll be a 2-man advantage for the Winnipeg Jets for about 1:12 seconds. At the blue line, Norm McIver plays it into the corner. Olchek pumps with David Karpa. On the backboards, Keith Tkachuk shields the puck with his body, spins out of the corner. Back to the line, Shamnoff. Stepping up, McIver. Back to Tkachuk. On the perimeter, long slap shot. Did it tattoo the post? It did, but there's Tkachuk. No mistake there from close range. It's a power play goal and a 2-0 Winnipeg advantage.
I tell you what, the Jets are almost unstoppable on the power play. They have all the elements of that a great power play needs. One of them right here is the power forward, Keith Tkachuk. Now watch Norm McIver. Both Mighty Duck defenders down trying to block the shot. You cannot do that when you only have 3 defenders on the ice. The Jet forwards very poised when they get a hold of this thing. Look at the nice little feed across by Alexei Zhamnov. But there's one cardinal rule as a defender in a 4-on-3 or a 5-on-3 that situation, and that is don't go down to block the shot. When you leave your feet, you leave yourself vulnerable for any kind of rebound opportunities, and that's exactly what just happened to the Mighty Ducks. Not only did one guy leave his feet, both of their defensemen went down for the shot block. When the shot was not blocked, they were dead in the water.
So Keith Tkachuk tacks on his 2nd of the game and 25th of the year. This one comes on the power play, and Keith Tkachuk continues to make a living off of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. You remember, Brian, that entering this season, Tkachuk ranked 2nd all-time in scoring against the Ducks, only behind Modano and Gretzky, who came into the season tied with 15 points in head-to-head competition against Anaheim.
It was Tkachuk that signed that huge deal partway through the season, the beginning of the year rather, just before the season started. The Blackhawks made him a $17 million offer. The Winnipeg Jets had the right to match. He was a restricted free agent. They matched him, and only 23 years of age, this kid has got an incredible future ahead of him.
Well, right now, as the discussion begins to dissipate, we are set for the ensuing face-off at center ice. The question was, who comes out of the box for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim? Obviously, York is the 2nd man who got the infraction, so the longer penalty persists.
You know, I think that Ron Wilson was kind of using that as an excuse to get Trottier over to the bench to really voice his displeasure with that charging call against Jason York, because that was a very, very marginal call. And when you're playing against a team that has a potent power play like the Winnipeg Jets, you're hoping that the referee is going to give you the benefit of the doubt in most cases. That has not happened tonight.
Keith Tkachuk with his 11th power play goal of the year, 25th overall from Jamnoff and McIver. If you're scoring with us at home, that came at 8:57. Chevelday will leave it for McIver. Power play hockey for the next minute 22 and ticking for Winnipeg. They have now scored 13 power play goals in just over 5 games. In the corner, Dirk stands up his man. Dutch Dallas takes it away. Korea has a wide open avenue up the right wing boards, and he'll use it. Now we're going to get a whistle. And Richard Trottier has had a very active start to this hockey game.
Trottier been very prominent on the score sheet so far tonight. This is going to be a tripping penalty against Alexei Zhamnov. Puck down low in the Mighty Duck zone. You can see Steve Ruchin trying to come out of the corner right there. See a little bit of a hook under the arm by Alexei Zhamnov. Call it a trip or a hook. Regardless, Zhamnov sitting in the box for the next couple of minutes.
We remind you, amateur hockey fans, that you can see exciting Junior B hockey action in Anaheim when the Anaheim Junior B Ducks team will be playing the Las Vegas Junior B team on January 19th at 9 p.m. at Disney Ice. Admission just $5. Children under 12 are free. Come and see some of the best 16 to 20-year-old hockey players in Southern California this coming Saturday night. For more info, call 714-535-RINK.
Another one of those 4-on-4 situations for the next minute and 4 seconds. Then the Ducks will be enjoying a one-man power play advantage.
On the far boards, Dallas Drake steps up for Winnipeg. He's got Darren Turcotte up the middle. As he battles with Ladazur, the shot in on goal is steered aside by Hebert, and out of the corner comes David Sacco. Sacco to the blue line of Winnipeg. Tries to go around Quinn on the backhand. He scores! David Sacco just got enough to deflect the puck in off the glove hand of Tim Chevelday, and the Ducks have sliced the Winnipeg lead in half, 2-1.
What a terrific individual effort here by David Sacco. Carries the puck all the way from his end of the rink, puts the shift on the rookie defenseman Darren Quinn, pulls it to the backhand, and he just catches Tim Chevelday leaning a little bit to his right perhaps. And there's room enough on the far side for David Sacco to find the net. That's a huge goal for the Mighty Ducks, because remember, they're about to head on the power play in another 40 seconds.
And $100 will be donated by United Airlines to the Anaheim School District by virtue of the David Sacco goal, his second of the season, coming at 9:52. Along the backboard, Sacco pinned there by Norm McIver. Tries to kick it free. He gets dragged down, looks over at Richard Trottier. No penalty called. Krieger winds, slap shot, and Chevelday got a stick on it. Now Dave Manson ties up Sacco. David Karpa steps up from the right point, pulls it back to the forehand, and Manson will pick it out of midair. He'll play it and take the whistle. Stick over the shoulder, and we go to stoppage in play with 9:31 to go here in the opening period.
Terrific move by David Sacco, his second goal of this season. Seen very limited ice time with the Mighty Ducks so far. Remember, they called Sacco to give him a little bit of an offensive burst. Very productive player down in the minor leagues with Baltimore in the American Hockey League. Fortunately, he got into the lineup, got his chance, then almost immediately got hurt with the injury. It's like a breath of fresh air to see that kind of a rush for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. It's been a while we've seen a player take it end to end.
Sacco's first career goal against Winnipeg. He's now averaging a point a game since being recalled from Baltimore. Paul Kariya nonchalantly stops back of his own net. As Stapleton peels off the play, Kariya deals to the left side, and Dulles will chop it back in deep. 40 seconds remain on the Zhamnov penalty. Ruchin out of the corner, picked up there by Newman. Very aggressive four-man box for Winnipeg. Van Allen at the left point. Stepping up, Sillinger feeds out front. Kariya's one-time shot sticked aside by Chevelday. Back to the line, Dulles. 20 seconds remain on the Anaheim power play. Sillinger looks for the give and go. Van Allen posts up back of the net. Van Allen still waits for players to create traffic out front of Chevelday. Sillinger And Ruchin peel off his Korea. Tees one in the direction of Sheveldae. And Newman steered it aside to the far corner. Time expiring on the Jamnov penalty. Korea can't contain the left point. He'll backtrack to center ice and then loft it high in the air.
That point shot from Paul Korea was actually a shot intended for a deflection by Steve Ruchin. Just got cut off at the last second by Manson.
Chris King connects with Shane Doan, and Doan is going to draw the penalty. Doan had the skates working at the blue line. Southwest Airlines scoreboard from Winnipeg.
So you need a cellular phone. Where do you go? Nowhere. Just call 1-800-AirTouch and order a cellular phone over the phone. Talk to a cellular expert with all the answers. Get the right phone and the right service plan. Call 1-800-AirTouch. Come on, call.
Now, this is how people organized their finances back when Great Western Bank got started. Well, today, all you need is a Great Western checking account. You can direct deposit your paycheck, pay your mortgage, take care of your car payment, all automatically. If you want the best way to get organized, ask the folks who've been working on it for 100 years.
It's on Inside Edition, Monday night at 7 on KCAL 9.
Ducks come close again on the power play. Here's the shot from Korea. It's the quick release. Ruchin almost able to get his stick on the rebound opportunity. That puck actually appeared to be in behind Sheveldae, and he swept it out with a big goal stick.
Well, Brian, at this point, Anaheim is now outshot Winnipeg 12-8. Power play hockey for the Jets for the next minute 55 as it's cleared the length of the ice, and Sheveldae will leave it for Norm MacIver. Big changes in the Jets power play with the acquisition of MacIver.
No question about that. You know, since Norm MacIver has joined the Winnipeg Jets, that power play going into tonight's game was clicking at 39.5%.
Just missed there. Jamnov sailed one wide from point-blank range. Tkachuk pulls the puck off the backboard, deals in the deep slot. Newman into Solani, and his one-time shot was deflected and on goal. Jamnov to the line, MacIver. Incredible perimeter movement on the part of the Jets. There's the one-time pass, but Corkum was able to recover in time. Dallas intercepts. Friendship pass, an open right point. That gives Ron Wilson the opportunity to change up his penalty-killing unit.
You know, we talked about the fact that they do have all the elements of a terrific power play. When they throw Tkachuk out there, he is immovable in front of the opposing team's goal. You got two excellent puck-handling defensemen back at the blue line, and both Solani and Jamnov as well. Effective players down low.
Tim Sheveldae forced to come way out of the net as Joe Sacco was charging in on a loose puck, and Sacco takes it back at center ice. Right wing feed, too far ahead of Van Allen. Newman in back of his own net. Not to mention the rejuvenated career of Eddie Olczyk,
especially on the power play.
Olczyk came into this game leading the Jets in power play goals with 12. One-time shot by Darren Quinn off the mark. Manson steps up along the backboards. Olczyk plays it to Mike Stapleton along the near board. Olczyk to Manson. 15 seconds left on the dirt penalty. Darren Quinn along the near boards. His wrist shot and on goal. Save Hebert. He's having trouble locating the rebound. Stapleton does. Manson can't collect the pass. That'll do it for the Winnipeg power play. Teams back at full strength. Brought in over the line. Olczyk's pass down low. Just rolled off the stick of Igor Korolev. Paul Korea gives it up to Darren Quinn. Mike Stapleton quickly counter punches to the blue line. Fakes as though he's going to tee one up. Now, from the right wing boards, his shot was blocked out front by Ladouceur.
Very impressed with the way the Winnipeg Jet forwards away from the puck drive aggressively towards Guy Hebert. He's having fits in that Anaheim net, having all kinds of problems locating those shots from the point.
Bobby Dallas plays the puck straight ahead, approaching 5.5 minutes remaining in this opening period. Winnipeg on top, 2-1. Chris Manson alongside Brian Hayward calling the action here from the arena. Dave Manson starting to put the numbers that made him such a big part of the Chicago Blackhawks defense for so many years and considered to have so much promise for the future. Plays it in deep. Chris King throws it off the base of the net. Dallas wards off a check and throws it back inside the line.
You know, you talk about Dave Manson, the most impressive statistic on the board for Manson this year, plus 16 on the season. Remarkable for him. In the past, he's been a very undisciplined guy, but I credit assistant coach Randy Carlyle with really bringing Manson along.
Talk about Randy Carlyle at the morning skate this morning. He was still schooling some of the Winnipeg goaltenders. Brought back inside the zone. Chevelbeck gives it up to Krieger. He plays it back to an open right wing, but Dallas Drink is there to intercept for Winnipeg. Darren Turcotte gives it up to Robert Dirk, quickly ahead to Corkum. He steamrolls in over the line, backhand beat out front. Ewan taken off the puck. Centered out front, and Todd Krieger sails one wide to the net. Corkum's pass to Krieger. He gets hooked down from behind, and it's a patented move for Krieger, and Richard Trottier buys into it. Power play in hockey once again when we return to Winnipeg.
Right now, Southwest Airlines has Gotta Go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal. People everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want Gotta Go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta Go fares from $19 only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
For Southern California residents only, bigger, bolder adventures at Disneyland are rolled back to just $24. Experience the thrills of the Indiana Jones adventure, plus all the legendary magic of Disneyland for one low price. So bring your friends, Southern California. This offer will blow you away. It's only $24. Come have a ball at Disneyland before it's too late.
Here's the penalty against Darren Quinn. See Todd Krieger fully extended. It sure doesn't take much for the legs to go out. You see Todd kind of peeking over his shoulder to see if he has sold Richard Trottier. Indeed, he has. Darren Quinn hooking penalty, and the Ducks back on the power play.
Penalty killing unit for Winnipeg. Stapleton up top along with Randy Gillen. Back on the bench, Norm MacIver and Dave Manson, who has the puck for the Jets, and who'll clear it back inside the blue line of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Dulles on defense, manning the points along with Paul Kariya. Sean Van Allen has Ruchin in motion to his left and Mike Sillinger to his right. Paul Kariya rattles the puck in diagonally. Karam off the glass to Ruchin along the far boards. He gets spun around from behind by Randy Gillen. Norm MacIver gives it up to Mike Sillinger, who weaves his way out of traffic. Sillinger, top of the circle, still winning. Dulles to Kariya. Back to Dulles. To Sillinger. 3:30 left in the period. Slap shot just missed the mark as Chevelday waved at it. And the Jets are able to clear the zone.
I like to see Mike Sillinger shoot from that spot, because if those Mighty Duck wingers are not a threat to shoot, then those Winnipeg defensemen will not be drawn out away from Tim Chevelday.
Gotta believe that Sillinger has been given the go-ahead to shoot as well. He's been held without a goal in the last 13 games. Along the backboard, Sillinger taking off the puck. Chris King muscles it back through center ice as Paul Kariya spins away from Darren Turcotte. Kariya quickly ahead to Krieger. He steps up over the line, moves it around Manson, and throws one through the crease. Dulles collects the puck left point. 35 seconds left on the Anaheim power play. One-time shot deflected by Krieger, and the stick of Chevelday in sync to throw the puck outside the playing surface. We remind you, fans, simply attend a Mighty Ducks home game through April the 8th, and you'll be automatically entered to win in the Loyal Fan giveaway presented by Toyota. The Mighty Ducks and the Toyota dealers of Southern California are giving away a grand prize Toyota 4Runner. One contestant will be randomly chosen at each home game to qualify for the Toyota 4Runner drawing held at the Mighty Ducks' last regular season home game on April 14th. No admission necessary to participate. Void where prohibited. Alex Hicks appearing in his 28th NHL game here this evening. Set for the face-off to the right of goaltender Tim Chevelday. Hicks obviously being rewarded for some of the solid efforts that he's turned in during this 6-game road trip as he continues to work the power play. Oleg Tverdovsky steps up to center ice. Ahead to Todd Krieger. Shoveled out of the net. Leaves it for Jeff Finley. He whips on his first attempt. Picked off by Tverdovsky. Throws it down low. Krieger at the dot. 5 seconds left on the Anaheim power play. Front shot. This is everything. Correa along the far boards. Stood up there by Mike Eastwood. Follow-up for Shannon along the far boards. And Daryl Shannon will give it up inside the zone to Tverdovsky. Teams are back at full strength as we approach 2 minutes remaining in this opening period. Alex Hicks drops it off for David Sacco. Back to Hicks. He swipes one in on goal. And a stack pad save by Tim Shovelday. Eddie Olczyk looks for the carom to Solani. He blows it past the defense, but misses everything as we get a whistle and an icing call against the Winnipeg Jets. All Solani had to do was touch it, and that would have negated the icing call against Winnipeg. Look at Solani get the step on Big Daddy Randy Ladouceur, and there you see him try to collect the puck from skate to stick, but he just blew past it. And the Ducks catch a break there with 1:45 seconds to go here in the opening period. Our good friend Bill Davis and his wife, along with son Todd, taking in tonight's game. Teemu Solani and the Winnipeg Jets once again bearing down on Guy Hebert, and there you see the two-hander right across the midsection from Randy Ladouceur. So Ladouceur gets the gate. And now once again power play hockey for the Winnipeg Jets. 18:15 time of the infraction. 1 out of 3 Winnipeg this far tonight on the man advantage. Both Winnipeg goals by Keith Tkachuk, his 24th and 25th of the year. David Sacco, his second on the season, as Dallas cranks one in on goal, and Shovelday leaves it side of his own net. Norm MacIver. Played in diagonal. Bobby Corker gives it up to Solani. Tkachuk hustles over to a loose puck in the far corner. Plays it down low where Zhamnov has it taken away by David Karpa. Ducks take it back, and they're able to clear it just past the outstretched stick of Teppo Numminen. 1:10 seconds left in the opening period. Bobby Dallas will take his time. This will result in an icing call here against the Winnipeg Jets. Bobby Dallas, the Ducks' all-time leader in games played now, with 168, including tonight. Originally a first-round draft pick of the Winnipeg Jets, Bobby Dallas has put up some incredible defensive numbers for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. The Ducks' all-time plus-minus leader at +28. Keep in mind, the Ducks entered tonight's action 10 games below the 500 mark. No easy task for Bobby Dallas. MacIver. Tkachuk. Inside a minute to go in the opening period. Pass down low. Tkachuk peels away from Robert Zirk. MacIver to Numminen. Solani stepping up top of the circle. Solani surveys the situation, deals out front, but Tkachuk was too well covered by Jason York. One-time shot. Solani save. Rebound. They score. Alexei Zhamnov for in on the rebound. The Ducks are arguing that the goal should be disallowed, but it looked like a back rebound. Anybody's there for the taking, and Zhamnov converts on the power play. Hey, you see the initial shot by Solani, and there's Solani able to muscle it home. Sean Van Allen immediately went over to referee Richard Trottier, but doesn't appear to be an infraction. Power play goal for the Winnipeg Jets, and now Richard Trottier, he's going to discuss things with the video goal judge here in Winnipeg. So Zhamnov sits back and awaits the verdict. There you see Trottier talking to the video goal judge as we await the official word here in Winnipeg. You had the advantage of 3 angles. Let's take another look as MacIver passes over to Solani. There's the shot in on goal. Toe save Guy Hebert. Jamnoff came crashing in on Hebert. Let's see. Jamnoff nowhere near the crease. The question is, did he punch the puck forward, though, as it came to rest high in the air? An incredible, incredible call. That replay, quite decisive. As you saw, Solani with the right glove as it was on its way down, the trajectory of the puck. Watch as it pops up in the air. Now look, there it is free. Here comes the right glove of Solani. There you see the punch. What a terrific call. So 39 seconds remain in this opening period. Goal disallowed. Game remains at 2-1. But Randy Ladouceur, one of the Ducks' more proficient penalty killers, continues to sit. Jason York has an opening. Deflected out to center ice. Korea. Short-handed bid here for Ruchin. He's taken off the puck by Jamnoff. It's incredible the way video replay has changed the face of this game. From the naked eye, it appeared to be a clean goal. Jamnoff down low, and what a terrific post-to-post save by Guy Hebert. Tkachuk to Jamnoff. He waits, deals out front, and Tkachuk blew past it. 2 seconds left in the period. Tkachuk out of the corner, watches as time expires, and the Winnipeg Jets will skate off after the first 20 minutes of play, nurturing a 2-1 advantage. And tonight's Mighty Ducks telecast is being brought to you in part by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by AirTouch Cellular, the shortest distance between two people. And by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, because life is good. Coming up after a KCAL news break, we'll visit with rookie sensation Chad Kilger. 2-1, Winnipeg leads it from the arena. Stay with us.
When you're in Los Angeles and you've got Miller Lite, life is good.
Yeah, I can always use a cold.
Oh, yeah. So many beaches, so little time. Nice shot. Whoa, look at that.
Icy, cold, chilly.
Fiesta. Great bars, no doubt. Cerveza fría, por favor. Yeah, so it goes something like this. You're in LA. You got Miller Lite. Life is good.
This is my dad's old railroad watch. He sure seemed to get a lot more time out of it than I do. You know, Great Western Bank can help you with the time that you do have. You can deposit your paycheck automatically, check up on your accounts by phone 24 hours a day, and Great Western's even open Saturdays till 3. So, if you need more time to get things done, just ask.
It is perfectly legal to eat a juicy new Carl's Jr. third-pound classic double while driving 55 miles per hour in an open convertible. It just isn't very bright. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
So you need a cellular phone. Where do you go? Nowhere. Just call 1-800-AirTouch and order a cellular phone over the phone. Talk to a cellular expert with all the answers. Get the right phone and the right service plan. Call 1-800-AirTouch. Come on, call.
The all-new Toyota 4Runner, and you can lease it for only $259 a month. Toyota redesigned the 4Runner with more room and more power. Now it comes with a bigger 183 horsepower V6 engine. So see your Toyota dealer today and lease the new 4Runner for only $259 a month. I'm sold on you.
I'm Sylvia Lopez. Hope you're enjoying the Ducks game. Here are a few of the stories we're working on for the weekend report following the game. A spectacular fire lit up the night sky in Hollywood, and now a landmark is gone. The Celebrity Theater, once used by Merv Griffin, went up in flames overnight. We'll tell you what fire officials say started the blaze, and we'll have reaction to the loss of this legendary building. Also tonight, the Republican revolution comes to the Southland. Both Bob Dole and Newt Gingrich visit L.A. We'll tell you why they're here and why some people were not too pleased to see them. Plus, if you think you survived the recent flu epidemic, think again. We'll tell you why you have to watch out for the more than 20 strains invading Southern California. We'll show you what's hot at the box office, and of course, John Ireland will have all the day's sports highlights, including the championship games in the NFL. So join us for all the day's news tonight at 8.
This game's in the refrigerator, the door's closed, the lights out, the eggs are cooling, the butter's getting hard.
Friday, 7:30. Laker action is back on KCAL 9. They're making the crosstown trek to the arena in a showdown with the Clippers.
The LA Lakers play on KCAL 9.
Lonnie Divac and the Lakers take on Charles Atlaw and the Clippers. Friday night, 7:30 on your pro sports leader.
The LA Lakers play on KCAL 9.
El Pollo Loco presents Healthy Resolutions for 1996. 1. Eat more chicken. 2. Include more fresh vegetables in your diet. 3. Save lots of money. And right now at El Pollo Loco, you can start the new year off right with 8 pieces of delicious marinated flame-broiled chicken, freshly prepared salsa, and steamy tortillas, all for just $5.99. Woohoo! So hurry to El Pollo Loco. It's that good. Oh, and 4. Watch less TV.
So what's the big surprise?
Knicks tickets.
American Express?
I got a little proposition.
Whoa! Hey, you got my ticket!
Think again, my friend.
Oh, there!
The American Express card. It's just the ticket. I'd have gone to the moon for these.
Tell me about it.
Picture tells the story here from Winnipeg. Jets on top of the Ducks 2-1. The comparisons have ranged from Madonna to Linden. Promising centerman Chad Kilger is standing by in our studios. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Chris. We're here with Chad Kilger. I don't know why, but I feel like I should be sitting on a couple of phone books next to this kid. Chad, it was a tough first period. Certainly not the situation you guys wanted to get into, a special teams kind of game against the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of penalties called in. You got to expect that with, I mean, there's the obstruction rules. This ref here, we know that he calls them very closely. I mean, a lot of other refs give you a little room. This guy doesn't give you any room at all, so we got to be prepared to that, prepared to move our feet.
You know, we're now past the halfway point in your first ever professional season. What are your impressions about the way the season has gone for you and for the hockey club?
For myself, things that have been going well lately. I mean, I guess for your rookie season, you always have ups and downs, but lately I think things have been going fairly well for me for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've found myself improving every day, and for the team, I mean, we've had a roller coaster ride. We've been playing well, and we had a bad December, and right now we're just trying to get back into the playoffs.
You know, I noticed, especially on this road trip, that you've been playing a much more physical brand of game. Is that a conscious effort on your part, or do you think it's just a fact that you've been feeling a little bit more comfortable out there?
I think definitely I'm feeling a lot more comfortable out there, and I know now what I'm expected to do on this team, what my role is, and how I got to play out there if I want to keep on playing.
When you look around the rest of the league, is there one player that you would like to pattern yourself after, and why?
I guess if there's one player I'd pick, it'd probably be similar to Trevor Linden's style. I mean, I enjoy watching him play. He's aggressive, good two-way player, finishes his checks and drives the net hard, and he's just a great player.
You know, you're about to head back to the locker room. What do you think that Coach Wilson will have to say to the troops?
I think we just got to be prepared to keep on moving our feet, and we've got to make sure that we bear down on our special teams.
All right, Chad, thanks very much for guesting with us.
Thank you very much.
Right now, let's send it back upstairs to Chris Madsen. Chris.
Winnipeg plays a prominent role in the young career of Chad Kilger. He scored his first ever game winner against the Jets on October 22nd. Back with highlights.
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Stay cool.
Right now, you can take to the slopes at your Chevy dealer with a voucher good for a free all-day adult lift ticket to Mountain High in Wrightwood just by test driving the new Chevy Blazer or the new Chevy Astrovan. You'll enjoy the Mountain High Express that jets you to the top in only 6 minutes. There's no obligation. Just test drive the new Chevy Blazer or Chevy Astrovan and get a free lift ticket voucher to Mountain High. But hurry, this offer ends soon. See your participating Southern California Chevy Geo dealer today.
It's on Inside Edition, Monday night at 7 on KCAL 9.
The Southwest Airlines period of play. Chris Madsen and Brian Hayward back with you here at the Winnipeg Arena. All things considered, Brian, the Ducks did bounce back after falling behind early.
I think that Ron Wilson is probably in the locker room, and he's quite relieved at this point, because if you give that Winnipeg power play that many opportunities, they're going to kill you. And the Ducks, they got a lot of those hooking types of penalties that he will want his guys to cut completely out of their game. He doesn't mind them taking the roughing penalties. He doesn't mind them taking the charging penalties. But when guys take hooking penalties, it means that they're not playing aggressively when the other team has control of the puck. They're playing with their sticks. When you're playing with that puck at the end of your stick, you get into all kinds of trouble. You can't afford to do that against Winnipeg.
Well, keep in mind the Jets open the second period on the power play as well. 15 seconds of carryover on the Ladouceur infraction. Tonight's Mighty Ducks telecast is being brought to you in part by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, because life is good. By Pizza Hut. Call Pizza Hut now and enjoy a Pizza Hut pizza delivered to your home during tonight's game. By your Southern California Ford dealers, home of the best-selling cars and trucks in America. See your Ford dealer today. And by GTE. It's amazing what we can do together. Winnipeg looking for their 20th win of the season against 21 losses and 3 ties. Ducks in search of their 16th of the year. We'll be back with the second period face-off right after this.
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Stay cool.
You know, the Ford guys just told me that once again they have the best-selling car, truck, small truck, and the best-selling sports utility vehicle.
And right now, Ford is out to make all of their vehicles bestsellers. That's why they're giving you 4.8% APR for 4 years on 10 of their most popular 96 Fords, like the best-selling Ranger, Escort, and the all-new redesigned Taurus. That's 4.8 for 4 years on a new Ford. Make that 10 new Fords.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball? Both, boss. Both? Both. Offense or defense? Both. Both? Both. Both. Both.
Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza? Both. Both. Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our lovers line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Dion? 15, 20 million?
Both. Both. You'll love the stuff we're made of.
No, I sent 3. 1, 2, 3. I got them right here. Oh, the hutch has a 3-way hinge. Okay, now your fingers are pointing up, you're wiggling them? Are your palms up? Just flap and lock, flap and lock. You know, not your thumbs.
In the everyday world, you often have to explain yourself to others.
Are you flapping?
Now look at page 2. With the world-class network from GTE,
I like that.
you simply show them.
What if we switch the pages?
Change the way you work. Change the way you live. It's amazing what you can do with the world-class network from GTE.
Now, this is how people organized their finances back when Great Western Bank got started. Well, today, all you need is a Great Western checking account. You can direct deposit your paycheck, pay your mortgage, take care of your car payment, all automatically. If you want the best way to get organized, ask the folks who've been working on it for 100 years.
March 1st is the 3rd annual Mighty Ducks Fan Fair. Join Ducks players and coaches for an exclusive party inside Disneyland. Photo and autograph booths, mystery boxes, and much more. Admission is limited. Tickets, which include parking, are just $35. Call Ticketmaster at 714-740-2000 or stop by the Arrowhead Pop box office. All net proceeds benefit Disney Go. So as Guy Hebert prepares for the ensuing power play, or at least the final 14 seconds of power play action for the Jets, we get set for another edition of GTE Trivia. Brian?
What are the only 2 numbers retired for the Winnipeg Jets? You know, I know that one of them is Bobby Hull.
The
and
great
other
Robert Marvin, and the other is Tomas Steen. 14 seasons in a Jets uniform.
Retired at the end of last year, and nobody really expected to see the Winnipeg Jets at that time playing another full season here in Winnipeg. Of course, they'll be playing in Phoenix next year. We'll get a chance to talk about that later in the telecast.
Quick shot off the draw by Sean Van Allen, steered aside by the blocker of Tim Cheveldae. Stepping up, MacGyver gives it up to Olczyk. Tkachuk in the near corner. Throws it back to the net. Ladouceur's back on the ice. Teams are at full strength. Teemu Selanne drifts over to a loose puck. Back to the line, MacGyver. Olczyk just misconnecting with Selanne as he had found a seam between Ruchin and Ladouceur. Bobby Dulles at the blue line of Winnipeg. Throws it in deep. Ron Wilson sends 5 fresh bodies peeling over the boards. Dave Manson. Paul Correa intercepts. Quickly ahead to Gary Volk. Drops it off for David Sacco. Sacco looking. Drops it off for Karpus. Oh, and it may have hit the right post. Loose puck all alone. They score! Gary Volk collecting a loose puck at the base of the crease and tattooing it into a wide open net. The Ducks are on the board 59 seconds into the second period and have pulled even at 2.
You know, this is a real interesting shift because Ron Wilson throws Paul Correa over the boards specifically to play against Teemu Selanne and Keith Tkachuk because they are vulnerable in the defensive zone. You see those white shirts get all tangled up in front of Tim Cheveldae. Here it is from the overhead camera. You see Gary Volk driving to the net. The initial shot hits the post, but the puck stays alive. It's Correa that keeps it alive, and Volk gets a second opportunity and buries it.
Gary Volk with his first goal since a 2-goal performance on the 29th of December against the San Jose Sharks. Pulls the Ducks even at 2. Keith Tkachuk had opened the scoring with back-to-back goals for Winnipeg early on in the opening period. David Sacco sliced the lead in half, and now Volk gets the goal that ties this one up at 2. Turnaround shot, Correa, right leg save for Cheveldae. Doan plays it into the corner. Tries to follow up with a hit on David Karpa. Ball Korea met by Alexei Zhemna. Along the backboard. Karpa tries to play it out the right point. Quinn's turnaround shot picked off by David Sacco. Ducks to center ice. Karpa takes it back. Robert Dirk stepping up. Pass under lead to Gary Volk. Icing call here against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim with 17:59 to play in the second period.
Ron Wilson has to be pretty happy with the way his forwards have been able to exploit that Winnipeg defense. Here's the hit on David Karpa by Shane Doan, rather, in behind the Mighty Duck goal line. Karpa, of course, one of the more physical defensemen for Anaheim. And, you know, I mentioned that one of the ways you can get to the Winnipeg Jets is to really pressure them down low. They don't really move a lot of people out from in front of the net. The Ducks have had several second opportunities.
Igor Korolev had a golden opportunity there for Winnipeg, but Guy Hebert nonchalantly turned to the side. Stapleton tries to test the Anaheim netminder, but Ladisher blocked that. Here comes Bobby Corkum to center ice. Left wing feed to Ewan. He's bumped off the puck, takes it back just outside the blue line of Winnipeg, and quickly the Ducks infiltrate the zone. Corkum in the near corner. Bump from behind by Finley. Centering feed intended for Krieger. Picked off and cleared up the near boards. Krieger there to intercept. Corkum lays it to the back wall. Ewan battles with Darren Turcotte. Players go down in a heap and right in front of Richard Trottier. He loses sight of the whistle.
Good pressure again down low, and there's one area that the Ducks really think they can do well is along the boards in that Winnipeg zone. Norman McIver. He's another guy. He's a power play specialist. You see he's very productive offensively, but at times McIver gets a little soft in the defensive zone. You want to know that Ron Wilson has passed that information along to his forwards.
The goal by Volk came 59 seconds into this period, his 8th of the year from Korea and Karpa. 37 seconds later than the fastest goal from the start of a second period in Anaheim history. Bobby Corkum getting the goal on the 16th of January against the Vancouver Canucks, 22 seconds into the second period. So after a big kill to start the period, the Ducks score at equal strength. Off the backboard. Centered all along, they score! Randy Gillen left unattended in front of Guy Hebert. The puck came squirting out from behind the net, and Gillen made no mistake. Jets on top once again, 3-2.
You know, and this all starts with a big hit on the left wall right here by Chris King on Jason York. That effectively takes York out of the play, and you see two Duck defenders in behind the net. Mike Eastwood left all alone in front, or excuse me, Randy Gillen got the wide open net. No chance whatsoever for Guy Hebert. He just sweeps it into the wide open net.
So Randy Gillen, with his second goal of the season and second career goal in 4 games against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, spots the Jets a 1-goal advantage. At center ice, Daryl Shannon springs Kachuk to Solani. He just sails one wide of the net. Not very often that Solani misses from close range like that. Back to center ice. Daryl Shannon again. Pops the puck high in the air. Collision course developing in the far corner as Olczyk bumps with David Karpa, and Kachuk is driven to the ice from behind by Karpa. Gillen from Eastwood and McIver. Time of the goal coming at 3:08 of the second period. Steve Ruchin to the blue line of Winnipeg. Taken to the outside. Tries to throw it back to Sillinger. Dirk covers the left point. Along the backboards, Van Allen tries to hit Ole Tverdovsky streaming down the slot. Puck is picked off by Finley and played up the right wing boards. Ladisher pinches and holds. Van Allen has the puck taken away by Zhamnov, and he can motor up the left wing board. Zhamnov to Kachuk. Fakes as though he's going to shoot. Trying to throw it out front, but Ladisher had fanned out to block that pass intended for Teemu Solani. So the score, there you see it on the Southwest Airlines.
Southwest Airlines is proud to present Fun Pack Vacations to Salt Lake City. Packages start at $249. Price includes round-trip airfare, 2 nights hotel accommodations, transfers, lift tickets, but not lessons. Fun Pack Vacations from the low-fare airline.
There are those who appreciate a big, thick, juicy Carl's Jr. Superstar. And there are those who don't. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
This is a 3-on-2 break for the Jets that actually turns into a 2-on-1. Look at the play by Randy Ladouceur. Takes away the passing lane. Brilliant defensive play. And, of course, you rely on David Carpa to do a lot of that in the defensive zone. It's that nastiness that forces the opposing team to play with their heads up.
Ducks win the draw. Tverdovsky out of the corner gives it up to Alexei Zhamnov. Shane Doan to Zhamnov. He'll peel back to the top of the circle. Dallas Drake to Doan. Centering feed. Taken back by Sacco. He fails to clear. Paul Kariya chips it ahead to Gary Ball. Ahead to Ladouceur, who steps up offensively. Ladouceur tries to throw it out front. He was too well covered by Teppo Numminen. In the neutral zone, Jason York will step up and drive the puck in deep. It's played by Cheveldae, so you can wash out the icing call. Now that's a little bit of miscommunication, I would think, Brian, on the part of the linesman. One linesman had the arm uplifted. The other was ruling a washout because Cheveldae was coming out to play it.
Yeah, you're probably right. They'll probably take this face-off back to center. Hey, the Ducks return to the Arrowhead Pond on Wednesday, January the 17th, to take on Theo Fleury and the Calgary Flames. Good seats still remain. Stop by the Arrowhead Pond box office, all Southern California Ticketmaster locations, or you can charge by phone by calling 714-740-2000.
Paul Kariya picking up an assist on the vault goal, giving Paul 54 points on the season. Tonight, Kariya appearing in his 46th game. Spins away from Numminen. Tries to throw it out front where it's picked off by Shane Doan. He'll headman the puck to Dallas Drake. Drop pass. Zhamnov runs into Kariya, and look out. Paul Kariya hit head-on by Alexei Zhamnov, and Patty Jarrett quickly hops over the boards to attend to the Mighty Ducks forward.
Well, he got a pretty vicious cross-check right here. Watch Kariya. He's cutting across the blue line. Zhamnov sees him at the last second with both hands on the stick. Cross-checks Kariya right in the side of the head. He goes down. Just hope that he is not seriously injured at this point. Here's another look at. Watch the stick of Zhamnov. Right into the side of the head. You saw the jaw of Kariya snap back to the right. All kinds of concern right now. As Patty Jarrett is out on the ice. Kariya looks like he's going to be okay. A tough customer, Kariya. I'll tell you what. He gets a lot of special attention. One of the things that has really impressed me about his play is that when teams specifically seem to target Kariya for extra kind of physical attention, he usually responds in kind with a couple of points later on in the game.
So Paul Kariya shakes off the effects of that head-on collision with Alexei Zhamnov. I don't think Paul can believe that there's not a penalty.
You know, to Trottier's credit, he was on the back side of Zhamnov, and I don't think he even realized that Zhamnov got the stick up on Kariya. I think he more or less thought it was a good, clean body check, which it was not. Fortunate for the Winnipeg Jets.
That puck sails outside the playing surface, and we'll get a whistle. So Paul Kariya appears to have shaken off the effects of that hit. Discussing a little strategy on the bench. Averaging more than a point a game in his career. Ducks fans once again in attendance. You know, it was great to see the kids out at practice this morning, Brian. And so many of those kids, despite having the red, white, and blue Winnipeg colors, had a lot of Ducks caps on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Manson's wrist shot picked off by Corkum. Plays it ahead to Krieger. Center ice, Ewan. On the far boards, Todd Krieger. Puck taken away by Igor Korolev. Wide side feed taken back by Dulles. Inside 14 minutes to go in the second period. Jets on top of the Ducks, 3-2. Norm McIver weaves around Ewan, gives it up to Corkum. Makes as though he's going to shoot. Now he moves it on goal. His wrist shot save. Rebound deflects over top of the net to the near corner.
You know, that was a real smart play by Bobby Corkum because Cheveldae had the angle on him, so he threw the initial shot into his feet and went hunting for the rebound.
Igor Korolev throws it past David Carper. They're going to wash out the icing call. Hebert exchanges to Robert Dirk. Offside whistle as Mike Eastwood touched the puck en route over the blue line. So the Ducks from here get set to return home to the Arrowhead Pond. The Ducks are beginning to create more chances in the offensive zone.
While they're applying pressure up ice, there's the hit by Todd Ewan. That's what forces the turnover by McIver. Now here's a 2-on-1. Manson plays it really well, forces Corkum to the outside. And you see that Corkum throws it into the feet of Cheveldae, almost is able to convert on the rebound.
About to say Ducks return to the pond on Wednesday for a date against the Calgary Flames. Our coverage on Prime Sports beginning at 7 with Ducks on ice. In the near corner, Robert Dirk battling with Mike Eastwood. Alex Hicks cannot clear the zone. Back to the net, Carpa. Lined up by Gillen. Shannon along the backboard. Gillen and Carpa kicking at a loose puck. Eastwood looking for it. Kilger with his first shift of the period. Look out, side of the net. Gillen tried to ram it home. We're going to get a whistle. Bodies flailing alongside Guy Hebert, and this will result in a cross-checking penalty. Power play hockey when we come back.
You know, the Ford guys just told me that once again they have the best-selling car, small truck, small truck, and the best-selling sports utility vehicle.
And right now, Ford is out to make all of their vehicles bestsellers. That's why they're giving you 4.8% APR for 4 years on 10 of their most popular 96 Fords, like the best-selling Ranger, Escort, and the all-new redesigned Taurus. That's 4.8 for 4 years on a new Ford. Make that 10 new Fords.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball? Both, boss. Both? Both. Offense or defense? Both. Both? Both. Both. Both.
Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza? Both. Both. Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our lovers line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Dion? 15, 20 million? Both.
Both. You'll love the stuff we're made of.
I tell you what, this Eastwood-Gillen-King line is causing the Anaheim Mighty Ducks fits. You saw David Carper right on the right side of your screen. Give King an extra little shot. It's a cross-checking penalty, and that powerful Jet power play is back on the ice.
Dancing Gabe, he's called here in Winnipeg.
Extremely talented young man.
I wonder if he'll be making the move south to Phoenix. Stepping up, Teemu Selanne at the hash marks. One-time shot, McIver broken up by Ruchin. Played to the far side, Selanne cuts over to it. Picked up there by Ruchin. He'll rag the puck to center ice, throw it in deep, and peel over to the Anaheim bench. Minute 30 left on the Carpa penalty for cross-checking. Winnipeg power play, 1 out of 4 thus far on the night. Selanne bumps with Ladouceur. Selanne with the puck. Forces a pass back to Newman and wide side feed out of the reach of McIver. He regroups at his own blue line.
And McIver was really forced to retreat because of the pressure up ice by Gary Volk.
Minute to go, Brian, on the Winnipeg power play. On the fly comes Shamnoff. Shamnoff in over the line. Effortless with his stride. Comes to the top of the circle. Tkachuk, who has a pair already in the game. One-time shot. Newman in and a right skate save for Guy Hebert. Teemu Selanne Tees one in on goal. Hebert collects the rebound and smothers the loose puck with 11:10 to go in the second period.
Terrific job by not only Guy Hebert, but Robert Dirk and Randy Ladouceur down low as they allow Hebert to get a good look at those shots coming in. They do that because they're cutting off Keith Tkachuk before he can get set up in front of the goalkeeper. You see how successful Hebert has been lifetime against the Winnipeg Jets. You know, goalies get kind of a good feeling about certain buildings around the league, and I was talking to Guy, and he said, I just understand the way the puck is going to carry him off the end boards in this building. I feel very comfortable on the ice.
Back inside the zone, Cheveldae with Korea in hot pursuit of the puck. Take a good look, Guy, because this is our last trip into the arena. Shot it on goal, and Hebert just got a glove on it. Quinn to Korolev. His left shot caught the body of Dulles. 5 seconds remain on the Winnipeg power play. Quinn tees one up, side of the net. York collapses on the loose puck and clears up the right wing boards to Korea. Teams are back at full strength. Pass over lead intended for Korea. He'll jam on the brakes. Rod Wilson makes wholesale player changes as Igor Korolev posts up inside the blue line and wraps it in off the backboard. Ladouceur picked up by Olczyk. Mike Sillinger's inlet pass played off the back wall. Daryl Shannon run into in the far corner by Sillinger. Here come the Winnipeg Jets to center ice. Up the far boards. Turcotte moving it out goal. Shot save. Hebert. Loose puck. He flattens out and smothered. Darren Turcotte streaming up the left wing boards. Bore down on Guy Hebert and just about snuck it past him.
Tremendous burst of speed by Darren Turcotte, because you know how Oleg Tverdovsky can fly, and he's shooting almost right at the face-off dot. In that situation with Hebert playing out in front of the goal crease, it's a pretty easy save. Hebert has been extremely sharp in this second period. Look at this glove hand save right here off of Alexei Zhamnov. I tell you what, sometimes the goalkeeper has to battle through that traffic in front and just hope that the puck hits him, and Hebert's been doing a tremendous job of staying with those toes on the top of the goal crease.
Face off at the top of the circle, taken down by the Ducks. Cleared back to center ice. Todd Krieger plays it deep into the corner where Todd Ewan upends his man. Centering fee chopped aside. Reason for the crowd reaction: there's been a marriage proposal in the audience, and she's accepted.
I always think that's a setup deal anyway.
Think so? Well, I'll tell you, another one of our brethren took the big jump, you know, just prior to the holidays. Mark O'Neill asked Kathleen to marry him. That's right. Understand he had on the Nat King Cole music and the fireplace, the whole 9 yards. And she has accepted. Trying to make wedding plans for late this year. Centering feet out front. Ducks intercept Krieger. Congratulations to both. There's been a lot of engagements in the office in this last year. You know that, Haley? Patty Jarrett, Debbie Blanchard in our front offices. Engaged recently. Rob Schickley. Out of the corner. Teppo Numminen for Winnipeg. Plays it back to center ice. Bobby Dulles plays it to the far boards. Jason York quickly ahead the ball. Picked up by Mike Eastwood. Korea with the loose puck in over the line. Moves it on goal. Tried to make a nifty move on Teppo Numminen, but ball comes away with the puck. And the Mighty Ducks are forced to regroup inside the row zone as we approach 8 minutes remaining here in the second period.
You know, as this game goes on, you see a lot of what Terry Simpson has been talking about in the paper the past few days. No consistency from the Winnipeg Jets.
Moving in on goal. Shot save! The rebound, they score! Paul Korea. His momentum carried him right to the loose puck, just to the left of Tim Cheveldae. The Jets and the Ducks are knotted at 3.
Well, this is what happens when you go to the net. Look at the Jets pinching in. They're caught 2-on-1 opportunity for Anaheim. Manson defending. He's taking the pass away by Correa, but look at Correa. He just cuts around Manson, goes to the net. I don't think Correa touches that puck. I think the Ducks get a very fortunate bounce off the skate blade of Eddie Olczyk, who's staying with Correa. Can't really see it from that angle. Cheveldae made a fine save, but the rebound ends up in the net.
So the Ducks have battled back again in this hockey game. They trailed by 2 early on, knotted it up at 2 goals apiece. Then, as the Jets' Eddie Olczyk gives it up to Guillermo, we'll get you caught up on the scoring when we return to the arena here in Winnipeg. Ducks and the Jets all knotted up.
1996 will be a big year for sports, which means lots of quick turns, lots of short flights, and lots of celebrating. Funny, sounds like every year at Southwest Airlines, except that this year we turn 25.
1996 will be an election year, which means promises to lower prices, raise employment, and get this country flying high again. Funny, sounds like every year at Southwest Airlines, except that this year we turn 25.
It's on Inside Edition, Monday night at 7 on KCAL 9.
Here's a great look at that last Mighty Duck goal as David Sacco brings it right into Cheveldae. He kicks it out. Paul Correa never touches this puck. Actually goes in off of the skate of Eddie Olczyk. Will be the 2nd goal of the game for David Sacco. Quite a night.
Well, credit Paul Correa with one heck of a job of selling the goal. As the Ducks come back to tie the game at 3. Jets jump down 2-0 on goals by Tkachuk back-to-back. David Sacco sliced that lead in half. Gary Volk tied it early on here in the 2nd. Randy Gillen made it 3-2 Winnipeg, and then just moments ago, presently, they are scoring it as a Correa goal. Will await the official word. Center repeat. Van Allen shot. Toe save by Cheveldae. Sillinger again throws one through the crease, and it's played back to center ice. Olczyk too well covered by Sillinger. Olczyk still battling. Ducks regroup. By the way, that goal constitutes another $100 in the direction of the Anaheim School District from United Airlines. Alexei Zhamnov. Ruchin there to intercept. And Norm McIver quickly headmans the puck to Alexei Zhamnov. 6.5 minutes to go in the opening period. Zhamnov at the blue line, battling tens along the backboard. Ladouceur with the loose puck. Quickly ahead to Joe Sacco. Sacco, Hicks, and Kilger have seen spot duty at best in this hockey game. Jeff Finley run into by Kilger as it's played in off the backboard.
And as this game goes along, you see a lot of what Ron Wilson said that this team could expect, and that is turnovers deep in Winnipeg territory when the pressure is applied to them. It's awarded the Mighty Ducks with a couple of glorious scoring opportunities.
Fans becoming impatient with their Jets as David Karpa steps up and clears the puck back inside the Winnipeg blue line. Shane Doan. Puck bounds high in the air. Dallas Drake over to it. Lined up by Karpa. He gets chopped down. Todd Krieger along the left wing boards. Drifts to the middle of the ice. Throws it in diagonally. Teppo Newman, the first man to the loose puck. Jeff Finley for Winnipeg. Korolev to Darren Turcotte. David Karpa tries to muscle the puck up the near boards. Turcotte collects it out of the corner. Back to the line, Darren Quint's long slap shot deflects in onto the stick of teammate Mike Stapleton. He's stripped of the puck. Todd Krieger at center ice tries to go around Newman. Corkum will clear it inside the line. The Ducks must touch up. 4:45 to go in the second period. Ducks and the Jets all knotted at 3. Turcotte in over the line. Posts up about 10 feet deep. Throws it through the middle. There to intercept is David Sacco. You know, Brian, when you think about Sacco's return, it's pretty amazing the way medicine and the treatment of knee injuries have come along, how quickly he's come back.
Those arthroscope, those procedures, remarkable now. What used to be a 4 or 5 month situation has turned into 2 and 3 weeks sometimes.
Laid off the near boards and back out to center ice. Manson plays it in deep. Dallas cuts back to it. 4 minutes left in the period. Chris King throws it through the crease area. Balk along the near board. 4 players out of the corner. Gillen with it. His wrist shot handcuffed Guy Hebert. King came crashing in on goal as a shot by McIver is blocked out front. Manson stepping up. King alone. Shot blocked by Dallas. Point blank. Penalty coming up here. Ducks touch it. We get the whistle. Cross-checking will be the infraction. And when we return, Winnipeg on the power play.
You know, the Ford guys just told me that once again they have the best-selling car, small truck, small truck, and the best-selling sports utility vehicle.
And right now, Ford is out to make all of their vehicles bestsellers. That's why they're giving you 4.8% APR for 4 years on 10 of their most popular 96 Fords, like the best-selling Ranger, Escort, and the all-new redesigned Taurus. That's 4.8 for 4 years on a new Ford. Make that 10 new Fords.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball? Both, boss. Both? Both. Offense or defense? Both. Both? Both. Both. Both.
Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza? Both. Both.
Both. Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our Lovers Line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Dion? 15, 20 million?
Both.
Both.
You'll love the stuff we're made of.
The opportunity to clear the zone. They can't get that puck out, and a glorious chance for Chris King. Tremendous effort on the block shot by Bobby Dallas, but you see Gary Vall come in there and clean out King with the cross-check. A reminder that the broadcast rights to this game have been retained by the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, and any reproduction or other use of the pictures and descriptions of this hockey game without the express written consent of the Mighty Ducks is strictly prohibited.
Teppo Newman in to Alexei Zhamnov at the top of the circle. Deals down low. Tkachuk throws one right through the semicircle. Norm McIver steps up to Newman. Takes the return feed in the deep slot area. Zhamnov waits, chops a shot, and on goal they score. Keith Tkachuk was there. Whether or not he redirected remains to be seen. But just 19 seconds into the power play, the Jets on top again by a goal.
Well, it's the hat trick for Keith Tkachuk. It is remarkable the way he is able to get his stick on these shots, because these shots are coming in at about 85 miles an hour from the top of the circle. Watch Samnov. He sets up at the top of the circle. He realizes that Tkachuk is set up down low. Tkachuk manages to get the shaft of that stick on the puck. Let's see it from this angle. Here comes the shot. Hard to see whether or not Tkachuk does indeed get a piece of that puck. I have to believe he does. Otherwise, a very stoppable shot. But Tkachuk must have redirected this one in behind Guy Hebert.
So we'll await the official announcement. Right now, they're going to give it to Alexei Zhamnov. Back to the line. Shannon slap shot, deflects to the hash marks. Turnaround feed out front, picked off. The Ducks quickly back 4-on-3. Up the right wing boards. Here's a wrist shot by Ewan, played to the near wall by Shevelbeck. Ewan quickly back to pick off that in the pack. Plays it over to Ladouceur. 2:40 to go in the period. Ladouceur brings it in over the line. Offside whistle against Anaheim.
Tell you what, the Jets, as we talked about, very explosive hockey team, but they do give up an awful lot of chances. Alexei Zhamnov, not only is he a playmaker, but as we saw in that last Jet goal, he's not afraid to just wind up and hammer it from the top of the circles. This guy is so slick. He's just smooth as silk whenever he gets control of the puck in the offensive zone.
Jamnov's 16th of the year. McIver and Newman pick up the assist. Time of the power play goal coming at 16 minutes and 48 seconds. Jets 4, Ducks 3. Along with our producer-director Lisa Seltzer and associate producers Mark Vittorio and Tim Davis, Chris Benson and Brian Hayward as they see Jamnov testing Guy Hebert from point-blank range.
And that's a good aggressive challenge once again by Hebert to get well out in front of the goal crease for the one-timer from Jamnov.
Jamnov plays the puck in the far corner. Doan picks up Correa. Sillinger spins out of the corner and plays it up the left wing boards to Dulles. Mike Sillinger back in his own zone. Taken down by Drake. One-time pass back to Drake. Hilty went in on goal. Save Hebert, and there you see Jamnov and Doan right out front of the Anaheim goaltender as tempers flare. Bobby Dulles lowering the boom.
Tell you what, again, there is traffic in front of Guy Hebert on this last shot. A nice little skill move here by Darren Turcotte. Watch him tuck this puck in. He's expecting to see Bobby Dulles go down. He tucks it in and just drills it. Guy Hebert able to pick up that puck because Jason York cleans out Dallas Drake from in front.
So Bobby Dulles takes a well-deserved rest. Face-off will take place to the right of his goaltender, Guy Hebert. David Sacco against Eddie Olczyk. Jets win the draw. Loose puck, top of the circle, save Hebert, and again, Tkachuk and Olczyk converge on the Anaheim goaltender.
Almost impossible to keep that Tkachuk away from the front of the goal. Here it is right off the face-off. Watch Tkachuk spin out of the corner. David Karpa does his best to box him out on the play, but Tkachuk able to overpower that Duck defense.
Olczyk and David Sacco again at the dot. Keith Tkachuk gives it up to Randy Ladouceur, takes it back. Teemu Solani doles the puck out in traffic. Paul Correa bumping with Solani, played back to center ice. Teppo Newman in his 8th season, all in a Winnipeg uniform. Back to center ice. Sacco stepping up for Anaheim, moves in on goal. Sacco crashes the net and cuts right through the crease. Play continues out of the corner. Sacco to Correa, and he just missed the mark. Correa takes a two-hander across the midsection, gives it up to Gary Ball, who is blocked at the defense. Inside a minute to go in the second period. Solani cutting in over the line. Jams on the brakes, trying to throw it back, but it was intercepted by Ladouceur and cleared inside the Winnipeg zone. Jets quickly play the puck back up ice. Igor Korolev cutting in on goal, deals out front, and Darren Turcotte right there to chip it in on goal.
Tremendous save by Guy Hebert. I don't think Korolev was intentionally trying to pass this puck because look at how he just snaps it right onto the tape, however, of Turcotte. Good tip for you young players at home when you are going to the net. Make sure that that stick is on the ice because Turcotte almost got a goal out of the play.
Korolev with 5 points in his last 5 games. Journeyman Mike Stapleton gets set for the face-off to the left of Guy Hebert. 38 7/10 seconds remain here in the second period. Alex Hicks to Jason York. Out of the corner, Korolev battling with Hicks for the loose puck. Corkum takes over, punches it back inside the blue line of Winnipeg. Norm McIver back to get it. Odd Karam off the stanchion as the Jets blowing through the middle. Turcotte tries to split the defense. Bob Corkum once again strong performance in his own zone. 7 seconds to go in the period. Dirk and Korolev. Time winding down, and now it expires on this second period. Jets still lead by a goal.
An extremely entertaining game so far. Wide open action. Both goaltenders severely tested tonight. Great scoring chances all across the board.
All right, tonight's Mighty Ducks telecast is being brought to you in part by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, because life is good. And by Pizza Hut. Call Pizza Hut now and enjoy a Pizza Hut pizza delivered to your home during tonight's game. by your Southern California Ford dealers. Home of the best-selling cars and trucks in America. See your Ford dealer today and buy GTE. It's amazing what we can do together. Here's an amazing stat. 50 collective shots on goal. Jets lead by 1. We'll be back with more.
When you're in Los Angeles and you've got Miller Lite, life is good. Yeah, I can always use a cold. Oh, yeah. So many beaches, so little time. Nice shot. Whoa, look at that. Icy, cold, chilly. Fiesta. Great bars, no doubt. Cerveza fría, por favor. Yeah, so it goes something like this. You're in LA. You got Miller Lite. Life is good.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball? Both, boss. Both? Both. Offense or defense? Both. Both? Both. Both. Both.
Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza? Both. Both. Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our Lovers Line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Dion? 15, 20 million? Both. Both.
You'll love the stuff we're made of.
So what are you doing today? Today, Bob Johnson is in a home-based nursery picking out the perfect ficus. Nancy Malone is at home base finding mini blinds at guaranteed low prices. Bruce and Janice Miller are getting a free in-home consultation from a home-based kitchen designer. And today, the Parkers are using their new home-based credit card to save 10% on their first purchase. There are a million other ways we can help. Surely you can think of one. Home base, ready to help.
El Pollo Loco presents Healthy Resolutions for 1996. 1. Eat more chicken. 2. Include more fresh vegetables in your diet. 3. Save lots of money. And right now at El Pollo Loco, you can start the new year off right with 8 pieces of delicious marinated flame-broiled chicken, freshly prepared salsa, and steamy tortillas, all for just $5.99. Woohoo! So hurry to El Pollo Loco. It's that good.
Oh, and 4. Watch less TV.
You know, the Ford guys just told me that once again they have the best-selling car, truck, small truck, and the best-selling sports utility vehicle.
And right now, Ford is out to make all of their vehicles bestsellers. That's why they're giving you 4.8% APR for 4 years on 10 of their most popular 96 Fords, like the best-selling Ranger, Escort, and the all-new redesigned Taurus. That's 4.8 for 4 years on a new Ford. Make that 10 new Fords.
Hello, I'm Sylvia Lopez. Coming up on the Weekend Report tonight at 8, a remarkable story about love, life, and divorce. A Southland couple married 25 years may have to divorce in order to save the life of the husband. It's a story you won't want to miss. Also tonight, a Hollywood landmark goes up in flames. We'll show you the fire that destroyed a famous theater, and we'll tell you about the memories made there. Plus, GOP presidential hopeful Bob Dole visits L.A., a one-on-one interview with the Senate Majority Leader about issues that affect the Southland. You'll hear his latest thoughts on immigration, crime, and punishment, and the budget crisis. And it's the hottest movie in the nation, and it's called 12 Monkeys. Find out why this futuristic thriller starring Bruce Willis and Brad Pitt is such a hit at the box office. And the stage is now set for the Super Bowl. John Ireland has all the day's highlights from today's championship games. So join Dave Clark and me for all the day's news on the Weekend Report at 8.
This game's in the refrigerator. The door's closed. The lights out. The eggs are cooling. The butter's getting hard. Here's the...
Friday, 7:30. Laker action is back on KCAL9. They're making the crosstown trek to the arena in a showdown with the Clippers.
The LA Lakers play on KCAL9.
Lonnie Divac and the Lakers take on Charles Outlaw and the Clippers. Friday night, 7:30 on your pro sports leader.
The LA Lakers play on KCAL9.
When you're in Los Angeles and you've got Miller Lite, life is good. Yeah, I can always use a cold. Oh, yeah. So many beaches, so little time. Nice shot. Whoa, look at that.
Icy, cold, chilly.
Fiesta. Great bars, no doubt. Cerveza fría, por favor. Yeah, so it goes something like this. You're in LA. You got Miller Lite. Life is good.
Right now, Southwest Airlines has gotta-go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal, people everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want gotta-go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta-go fares from $19, only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
Faster than a speeding bullet, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's... Ducks? Yes, the Mighty Ducks. KCAL 9, El Pollo Loco, and the new Dodge invite you to fly away with the Mighty Ducks when they come face-to-face with the 95 Stanley Cup champs, the New Jersey Devils. Pick up this entry at any El Pollo Loco, and you and a friend could be jetting away with the Mighty Ducks in '96. So get quacking, cracking, because you've only got till January 26th. Brought to you by KCAL 9, El Pollo Loco, and the new Dodge.
El Pollo Loco presents healthy resolutions for 1996. 1. Eat more chicken. 2. Include more fresh vegetables in your diet. 3. Save lots of money. And right now at El Pollo Loco, you can start the new year off right with 8 pieces of delicious marinated flame-broiled chicken, freshly prepared salsa, and steamy tortillas, all for just $5.99. Woohoo! So hurry to El Pollo Loco. It's that good. Oh, and 4. Watch less TV.
As of now, Alexei Zhamnov's power play goal is the difference in this one. But now it's time for our 7th edition of the Cement Pod. Tonight's topic is the slap shot and the backhander.
When I played
now you can take to the slopes at your Chevy dealer with a voucher good for a free all-day adult lift ticket to Mountain High in Wrightwood just by test driving the new Chevy Blazer or the new Chevy Astrovan. You'll enjoy the Mountain High Express that jets you to the top in only 6 minutes. There's no obligation. Just test drive the new Chevy Blazer or Chevy Astrovan and get a free lift ticket voucher to Mountain High. But hurry, this offer ends soon. See your participating Southern California Chevy Geo dealer today.
It's on Inside Edition, Monday night at 7 on KCAL 9.
Southwest shots on goal, even after 2 at 25 apiece. Coca-Cola scoring summary tied at 2. Volks 8 at 59 seconds. Korea and Karpa pick up the assist. 3-2 Winnipeg. Gillen second at 3:08. Eastwood and McIver pick up the assist. Jets and the Ducks all dotted at 3. Korea's 25th at 12:08. David Sacco and Volk the assist. And this one's been the difference now. Shamnov's power play goal for McIver and Newman. But let's pick it up with the Volk goal that knotted this one at 2.
Well, look how aggressively Gary Volk and Paul Correa storm at Tim Cheveldae. Their rebound comes out. There's a wide open net for Gary Volk to bury it. Gillen then makes it a 3-2 Winnipeg lead. Mix up in behind the Mighty Duck net. Quick pass out in front. And again, no chance for Guy Hebert. And then strange goal at the end. It appears to bounce off the skate of Eddie Olchuk. But right now, Paul Correa has been rewarded with this goal. I don't think he actually touches it. I think it's David Sacco's.
Well, we'll await any changes on the scorecard, but this one stands on the power play. Second power play goal on the night for Winnipeg.
Shot from the point coming in by Alexei Zhamnov. I'm not sure whether or not it touched Tkachuk in front of the net. Stands as Zhamnov's goal.
Tonight's Mighty Ducks telecast is being brought to you in part by Bud Ice. It's not hockey without ice. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsor of the NHL. By Del Taco, where you get a lot for what you've got. By the new Dodge for products like Viper and the new Caravan to Dodge Ram. We're thinking ahead. And by Yoshinoya Teriyaki Chicken and Beef Bowls, where great taste and fast service are both on the menu. Check this out. The Jets have only lost 3 times since Christmas Day, and they've never lost 2 straight since.
Right now, Southwest Airlines has gotta-go fares starting at just $19 one way on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's such a good deal, people everywhere see it as the perfect opportunity to get away. But if you want gotta-go fares to be your big break, you'd better hurry. Gotta-go fares from $19, only on Southwest, the low-fare airline.
The object in the mirror is the mid-size Dodge Dakota Sport. It comes with more cargo room and more passenger room than a comparable Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Plus, you get an AM/FM stereo cassette, aluminum wheels, sport graphics, and more. Now, with all this, it might appear that a Dakota Sport would be way beyond your reach. But with $500 cash back, it's actually a lot closer than it appears. Dakota Sport, from America's truck stop, the new Dodge.
Now more and more you feel your strength. On your own, standing alone, you finally see that you're unique. Brightening someone's day, lighting up someone's way. You're your own hero. Nice to know ya, just say Yoshinoya stands alone.
Being the best we can be, bringing out the best food for you we possibly can. One beef bowl, one chicken bowl, one steak bowl at a time. Unlike all the rest, Yoshinoya stands alone.
Determination, desire, the quest for excellence. Some have it every time they hit the ice.
They score!
Bud Ice proudly salutes the NHL All-Stars. Great talent and great taste go hand in hand, especially when you put them on ice. Smooth, refreshing Bud Ice, the official beer sponsor of the NHL.
But our scoreboard has Mike Keenan back in New York, but this time as coach of the Blues, they lead 2-1 in the second period. Dallas 2, New Jersey 1. That one also in the second period of play. Eddie Belfour back between the pipes for Chicago. They lead that one 1-0. Calgary on top of Colorado 1-0 in the first period of play.
Guy Hebert realizes that this has been a wide open hockey game. Both goaltenders can expect to see a lot of action in this third period.
Both clubs open at full strength. Penalty boxes are empty. Ducks trailing the Jets by a goal. Newman in. Out of the corner. Plays it up the near boards. Daryl Shannon to center ice. Hebert out of the net to leave it for Jason York. He's sized up and buried by Tkachuk in the far corner. Tkachuk with the puck. Drops it off for Newman. Slap shot. Save Hebert. He will not relinquish the rebound to Eddie Olczyk.
You know, we're only 25 seconds into this third period. First, a good hit by Gary Volk in the Winnipeg zone, and then another beauty by Keith Tkachuk against Jason York. When there's that much hitting, you expect to see turnovers. The Jets eventually are going to get a point shot off of this. Hebert able to see the Newman and blast all the way, and it's a pretty routine save for Guy.
Ensuing face-off takes place to the left of Guy Hebert, who has now faced 26 Winnipeg shots on goal, 25 for Anaheim thus far in the night. This is the final home date prior to the All-Star break for the Winnipeg Jets. Ducks, on the other hand, are set to return home Wednesday night against Calgary. Face-off set for 7:35 at the Arrowhead Pond. Our coverage beginning on Prime Sports with Ducks on ice at 7. By the way, we remind you fans, good seats still available for that one coming up Wednesday night at the Pond. Just one of 2 home dates throughout the month of January for the Ducks. At the line, David Karpa gives it up to Zemnov. He glides in over the line. Zemnov tries to spin away from Ladouceur. He'll give it up to Mike Sillinger. His hurried pass picked off by Manson. Chop shot, bounce high in the air. Ruchin will play it back through center ice where Van Allen steps up and deals right back to Ruchin. Around a check by Manson. He drives the net. Loose puck kept down by Mike Sillinger, but right into the pads of Tim Shovelday.
You see the reaction of Mike Sillinger. I really feel for this guy because he has been snake bit around the net. This is a tremendous rush by Steve Ruchin. Watch as Van Allen gets the puck over to Ruchin. It's a one-on-one battle against Manson. You see that reach of Steve Ruchin. He's able to bring this puck into the crease area. Gets a kick at it as well, and there is Sillinger. Boy, oh boy, good save right there by Tim Shovelday at the other end. A nice play by the Duck captain, Randy Ladouceur, taking away the space and time of Alexei Zemnov. So important.
Winnipeg wins the draw. Dallas covers the left point. On the backboards, Ewan tied up by Newman out of the corner, centered out front, stack pad save by Shovelday on Bob Gorka. Teppo Newman back of his own net rather, jams on the brakes. Ewan in pursuit of the puck, but Turcotte has it for Winnipeg. Brought in over the line. Ewan peels away from a couple of checks. Throws it back out to center ice where Todd Krieger has a man draped all over him, but he'll play it in back to the net.
I'm sure that Ron Wilson, in many respects, was preaching patience in between the second and third period of play, because you can see that the Ducks are going to get rewarded with a number of quality scoring chances. It's just a question of whether or not they're going to be able to put it in behind Tim Shovelday. Shovelday got a pretty young defense, what I would call a pretty soft defense, playing in front of them. Here's the last opportunity for Anaheim. Terrific work down low by Todd Ewan. He's going to get control of this puck. Krieger out in front to Corkum. Another guy who's been kind of snake bit around the net. Brilliant save by Shovelday.
Interesting story surrounding a conversation between Tim Shovelday and head coach Terry Simpson. During the last 5 games, the Jets have gone 3-2, and it has come after a discussion between Simpson and Shovelday, where Simpson admits we didn't really talk about goaltending. He knows more about that than I do, but what we did talk about was that it was time for an emotional change. And he says he has since seen Tim Shovelday play his best hockey.
He said to Shovelday, I want you to stop acting like a backup goaltender. Happy Boolin's out of the lineup. We need you to step up your level of play. Cheveldae has responded in the past week and a half.
Penalty coming up here, Brian, and a huge opportunity for Anaheim as Alex Hicks was dragged down from behind, holding the call, and the Ducks will be rewarded with the power play.
That's Dave Manson. You can see him right there. Puts the grab on Hicks from behind. Look at Manson. Immediately looks over towards Richard Trottier. Manson, he always looks whenever there's a penalty, just call him like all the wires aren't touching for a few seconds there. He's a frightening guy when you're confronted with Dave Manson with that kind of a scowl on his face. Terrific opportunity for the Ducks.
So this will be Dave Manson's first trip to the penalty box here this evening, giving him 121 minutes in penalties, tops on the club. Face off just at the top of the circle. Sillinger, Van Allen, and Ruchin up front for Anaheim. Dulles and Correa back at the points. Ducks have come up empty on the power play the past 2 games plus, both in Boston and Chicago, and thus far here tonight. Newman steps up and clears the zone.
Ron Wilson has what I would call his big power play unit out on the ice with both Ruchin and Van Allen up front. The Ducks have the luxury of being able to dump that puck in and get it back.
Bouncing puck around by Ruchin. Stapleton cuts over, clears it off the body of Bobby Dulles and onto the Winnipeg Jets bench. We'll get a whistle.
Disney Ice is offering weekly power skating and puck handling classes to develop quick agility, explosive speed, and smooth coordination for all ages and abilities. And you can pay as you skate. For more information, call 714-535-RINK.
Paul Correa, the Ducks leader in total points on the power play with 16, followed by Sillinger with 12 and Ruchin with 11. All 3 players remain on the ice.
And after those 3 guys, the production really drops off dramatically. You go down to 5 points as the next most productive player. Part of the reason why the Ducks have struggled on the power play. Not a lot of depth out there amongst power play type players.
Steve Ruchin with the puck. Moves to the dot. Drops it off for Correa and takes the return back. Out of the corner comes Sillinger. Back to Ruchin. Sillinger picked up in the far corner by Norm McIver. Gives it up along the backboards. Daryl Shannon is double teamed off the puck by Sean Van Allen. At the line, Dulles, 35 seconds remain on the Mighty Ducks power play advantage. Sillinger, side of the net. Van Allen still controlling. Van Allen faking as though he's going to tee one up. Van Allen peels off, 25 seconds to go. Dulles, left shot, save Cheveldae. Ducks' first shot on goal on the power play.
I'd still like to see Sean Van Allen take that shot. You have to force those players to walk out.
Van Allen to Correa, shot, and a save by Cheveldae. I don't think Cheveldae was quite certain where the rebound was, but fortunately for the Jets, it came the rest of the corner. Swipe pass out front, just missed on it. Correa tees one up, and it's blocked out front by Daryl Shannon. Teams at full strength. Sean Van Allen gives it up to Norm McIver, quickly ahead to Manson. Wide, slap shot, stick save. Back rebound, cleared by Karpa.
The Ducks get tremendous pressure on that power play opportunity. They just can't find a way to beat Tim Cheveldae.
We'll be back with more from Winnipeg.
Now more and more you feel your strength. On your own, standing alone, you finally see that you're unique. Brightening someone's day, lighting up someone's way. You're your own hero. Nice to know ya, just say Yoshinoya stands alone.
Being the best we can be, bringing out the best food for you we possibly can. One beef bowl, one chicken bowl, one steak bowl at a time. Unlike all the rest, Yoshinoya stands alone.
It's 3rd down at Bud Bowl, and you're in the game. Beat it, Doc. All right, you bench-warming cowboy reject. There are 4 plays left. Try this one.
Flea flicker? What if they catch me?
What if they catch me? Don't worry, it's going to be a walk in the park. So take a hike.
Ooh, yeah, this is easy. Hey! Oh!
Make that 3 plays left. Get a new play card where you buy Bud, Bud Light, and Bud Ice. Oh! Oh, look. A two.
Excuse me. That would be mine.
Ducks moving it around effectively on the power play. Look at this nice feed from Van Allen. Finds Correa dead center in the slot, and Tim Cheveldae just beats him.
Paul Correa had 6 shots on goal through 2 periods. Great A opportunity there on the setup by Van Allen. Played off the glass. Randy Ladouceur cuts back to it. David Carpa quickly ahead to Todd Ewan. Ducks bring the puck in offside. We'll get a whistle. Bobby Corkum 2 points shy of the 100 career mark.
You know, you go back to that Chicago game, Bobby Corkum was really the lone Duck player who generated quality scoring chances against Jet Packett. And against the Winnipeg Jets, Bobby Corkum has been very productive over the years. 9 points against Winnipeg in 9 lifetime games against the Jets.
More points against the Jets than any other NHL club for Bobby Corkum. Face off in the neutral zone. David Sacco, Paul Correa, and Gary Volk on the wing. Carpa rattles the puck in deep. Cheveldae to play it. Teppo Numminen. There's the pass to Shamnov, and while backpedaling, he had just made his way over the red line, and a 2-line offside pass whistled down against Winnipeg.
This is a set play for the Winnipeg Jets. Look at Numminen with the head up, the right-handed shot, moves out to that side of the net. You see that Jamnov just takes a step over the center red line before receiving this pass. Otherwise, he's in all alone on a breakaway.
Keep in mind, if Randy Ladouceur just touches that puck, Jamnov's off to the races. Teppo Numminen. Seems like this guy's been around forever.
One of the best kept secrets, at least among fans around the National Hockey League. Most hockey insiders and general managers realize how good this guy is, but you don't hear a lot of Teppo Numminen when you go into visiting cities, and I don't think people fully appreciate the talents of a Numminen. Tremendous passer.
A lot of people here in Winnipeg thought that he should have gotten the courtesy call to go to the All-Star game. But of course, Denny Savard has been in the league far longer than Teppo Numminen. Savard from Chicago was added to the Western Conference roster instead. Sacco swept away by Numminen. Volk looking, chops a pass, caroms to the near board. Paul Correa dragged down from behind. Jamnov inside his own zone has the puck taken away. Correa to David Sacco, and his slap shot missed everything. Turnaround attempt by Gary Volk, picked off by Jamnov. 2-on-2 with Dallas Drake. Jamnov stepping up over the line. Drops it off for Dave Manson. Manson shot, kick, save, Hebert. Rebound collected out of the corner by Jason York and cleared through center ice.
You know, I think in that instance, that shot actually went off the right leg of Doan. Actually shaking his right hand right now over by the Jet bench. One instance where driving to the net does not help your team.
Chris King hits the base of the net. Mike Sillinger gives it up inside the zone. Quick snapshot taken by Randy Gillen. Is cupped against the body of Guy Hebert, and he'll take the whistle with 13:10 to go in the 3rd period.
There's a turnover by Mike Sillinger right there. A nice little feed by Mike Eastwood over to Randy Gillen. You know, this line of Eastwood, King, and Gillen is a line that Terry Simpson throws out on the ice when he's looking to change the tempo or the momentum of a hockey game, because they're not the most gifted goal scorers in the league, but he can rely on them to start bouncing people around using their body effectively. It's a strong forechecking line.
Back out through center ice. Todd Krieger, medal on the far boards by Norm McIver. Olczyk looks for the diagonal feed. Tkachuk steps up for Winnipeg. Played to the near side. Sillinger spun around. Ruchin quickly ahead to Tverdovsky. He gets roughed out by Dave Manson on a big hit along the near board. Oleg with the puck. Krieger spins away from Manson. Chops a shot through traffic. Caught the referee, Richard Trottier. Solani is playing without a stick right now. Cuts over to it. Collects it along the near boards as the puck sails outside the playing surface. The Southwest Airlines scoreboard tells you the story. It's the Jets on top by a goal.
Now more and more you feel your strength. On your own, standing alone, you finally see that you're unique. Brightening someone's day, lighting up someone's way. You're your own hero. Nice to know ya, just say Yoshinoya stands alone.
Being the best we can be, bringing out the best food for you we possibly can. One beef bowl, one chicken bowl, one steak bowl at a time. Unlike all the rest, Yoshinoya stands alone.
Determination, desire, the quest for excellence. Some have it every time they hit the ice.
They score!
Bud Ice proudly salutes the NHL All-Stars. Great talent and great taste go hand in hand, especially when you put them on ice. Smooth, refreshing Bud Ice, the official beer sponsor of the NHL.
Watch Dave Manson step up and unload on young Oleg Tverdovsky. Tverdovsky, of course, trying to help generate a little bit of offense with his team down by 1. Manson pretty much had a free shot at Oleg. He had the angle on Oleg, and he just ran out of room. There was no place to go.
Dave Manson, 28 years of age, takes a seat on the Winnipeg bench. Ducks give it up here. Foot race to the loose puck. Mike Stapleton streams it over the line. Shoot, save, Hebert. And Hebert will smother the loose puck. Good play by Stapleton to pretty much seal off the back-checking player. I believe it was Jason York to the puck.
Good effort by Jason York, too, to really force Stapleton off to a little bit of an angle. That allows the goaltender to not have to prepare for the deke. Hebert can then challenge just a little bit more. And really, Stapleton was down a little bit too close to the goal line before he actually released that shot. Terrific effort by Jason York.
Of the 4 divisions in the NHL, Winnipeg has a winning record against only one. It's the Pacific, 7-5-1. Anaheim against the Central this season, 2 wins, 9 losses, and a tie. Back inside the zone, Daryl Shannon for Winnipeg. Bumped off the play by Joe Sacco as he lowered the shoulder. Sacco comes right out front. Paddle save for Cheveldae. Side of the net, shot, score! Sean Van Allen from what appeared to be an impossible angle goes rooftop over Tim Cheveldae. And with 11:50 to go in the hockey game, we're tied at 4.
Van Allen does a tremendous job of getting this puck up. Again, it's the pressure down low. They force the turnover in behind the Winnipeg net. And tremendous persistence shown by Joe Sacco. Look at this, Van Allen almost behind the goal line, and he just flips it up. He knows that the goalkeeper is going to be down and protecting the lower corners of the net. Look how he flips that puck up. I believe it goes in right off the crossbar from an almost impossible angle.
Well, Brian, Sean Van Allen had been held scoreless in the 6+ games since coming back from injury. Until then, huge goal for Van Allen, his 5th of the year. The Ducks are tied at 4. Here's Solani trying to go wide on Hebert. David Sacco to the blue line of Winnipeg. His left wing feed is pulled in offside as Gary Volk was a good stride and a half in over the blue ahead of the play.
Here's a good look at Sean Van Allen. He missed all that time, 21 games after having surgery on the thumb. Normally you expect to see him paired with Paul Correa. He's the type of guy who is not afraid to drive to the net. You know, he's got those soft hands. Saw that on that last goal. Gary Volk just went offside. And you know, it's one of the few times on this road trip where the Mighty Duck forward has gone offside entering the zone on a dump-in attempt. And I think the Ducks have to see that a little bit more. It sounds crazy. Going offside is a good thing, right? Well, it is, because it means that the forwards are trying to get in aggressively on the forecheck. You don't see players go offside every once in a while. They're just not anticipating well.
So both Sackos are on the score sheet tonight as Correa tests Cheveldae and rang the bell. Back to center ice, David Karpuk. Bobby Dallas in his own zone, ahead to Paul Correa. 4-4 affair from the arena in Winnipeg. Dallas straight. Dallas commits. Volk shovels it into Bobby Dallas's body. Fans wanted a delay a game penalty. They won't get it.
Ducks come awfully close to taking the lead in this hockey game, and it's their superstar player, Paul Correa, who shows a tremendous amount of patience. Look at Correa. Holds on to the puck, holds on, knows that Cheveldae will be out and challenging, makes almost a perfect shot, rings it off the crossbar. Here's the defensive play by Bobby Dallas. Dallas Drake is the puck carrier. Terrific anticipation shown by Bobby Dallas, and Drake just runs out of room.
Olczyk up top with Tkachuk and Solani. Sillinger met by Solani inside the zone, gives it up to Tkachuk. He steps up over the line. There's Olczyk with the one-timer. He sailed it wide of the net. Tkachuk with it again. Back to MacIver. Eddie Olczyk along the backboard to Teemu Solani. Todd Krieger cuts back to help out. Robert Dirk ties up Tkachuk along the far board. Krieger's there trying to poke the puck loose. Now Solani rubs him out. Ruchin's outlet pass picked off, but here come the Ducks. Todd Krieger brought in over the line. Tried to drop it back to Sillinger. Jets regroup with Dave Manson. Throwing it past Teemu Solani, and Guy Hebert plays it back to the left point. Wide side feed MacIver. Slap shot. Save Hebert. Rebound MacIver. Side of the net feed to Solani. Poke checked away by Dallas. Along the backboard, Eddie Olczyk moves out front. His backhand shot is thwarted by Guy Hebert.
Not really your defensive battle out there.
Randy Ladouceur tries to pin it up against the net, and he does. 34 shots on goal now for Winnipeg, 32 for Anaheim.
You see how exhausted Guy Hebert is in that Duck net, making his 7th consecutive start. It's tough work for a goaltender when the opposing team controls that puck in behind the net. Even though they might not generate a lot of chances, the goaltender is always moving from side to side, trying to pick up where those forwards are coming in through the slot area as the puck handler controls things back of the blue line. Hebert does a terrific job. Eddie Olczyk actually was able to walk out from behind. Hebert held his ground. It's a pretty good indication that Guy is on top of his game.
Well, fans, you may remember when the Ducks defeated the Jets 6-1 back on the 22nd of October. Guy Hebert made 42 saves in that game. Things would really have to open up now for those types of numbers to come up on the totem board. That was one off his career high of 43. You know, you got to wonder, Brian, how the move to Phoenix might affect the Jets in general. Right now, they're just 2 games below the 500 mark, but perhaps that sign right there says it all.
Should be in front of the Winnipeg Jet bench, perhaps, rather than the visitors bench. Yeah, I like the story about the very creative realtor who flew in from Phoenix, took the players all out, made a nice formal presentation.
Shot and a goal by Joe Sacco. Right off the draw, Sacco goes streaming in on goal, picks up the rebound, and throws it past Tim Cheveldae. Ducks with back-to-back goals and a 1-goal lead.
Well, again, the Mighty Duck forwards able to walk out in front of the net. Nobody picks them up. See those Jet defensemen, everybody looking at the puck. Joe Sacco pays the price down low, manages to get his stick on that rebound opportunity and convert. That's a huge goal for Joe Sacco.
Sacco's 6th of the season. And both Joe and David Sacco have a goal and an assist in this hockey game. Ducks with a pair of unanswered goals here in the 3rd period. Off the near boards. Cheveldae leaves it to his left for Dave Manson. Shamnoff with the puck. Steps up over the line. Shamnoff in traffic. Weaves to the outside and throws it wide of the net. Robert Dirk stepping into Dallas Drake along the backboard. Ducks give it up in the deep slot. Cutting back to it, Shane Doan. Drake with the puck. Met by Corkum. He pins his man there. Ducks clear the zone, back to center ice. 8:45 and ticking in the game. Anaheim 5, Winnipeg 4. Gary Ball up the left side to David Sacco. He lost an edge. Centering feed intended for Sacco, taken back by Correa. Shot over top of the crossbar. Keith Tkachuk His feed taken back by Anaheim with Paul Kariya's wide side feed carrying into the far corner. Eddie Olczyk with the puck for Winnipeg.
You know, the Ducks with the lead for the very first time in tonight's hockey game. They can now try to work on that clock a little bit, keeping that puck deep in Winnipeg territory as much as possible.
Well, Eddie Olczyk says the reason why he's having such a monster year is because he's well rested. Jets trail by a goal.
Now more and more you feel your strength. On your own, standing alone, you finally see that you're unique. Brightening someone's day, lighting up someone's way. You're your own hero. Nice to know you, just say Yoshinoya stands alone.
Being the best we can be, bringing out the best food for you we possibly can. One beef bowl, one chicken bowl, one steak bowl at a time. Unlike all the rest, Yoshinoya stands alone.
The object in the mirror is the mid-size Dodge Dakota Sport. It comes with more cargo room and more passenger room than a comparable Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Plus, you get an AM/FM stereo cassette, aluminum wheels, sport graphics, and more. Now, with all this, it might appear that a Dakota Sport would be way beyond your reach. But with $500 cash back, it's actually a lot closer than it appears. Dakota Sport, from America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
It's on Inside Edition, Monday night at 7 on KCAL 9.
Just some of the 10,661 on hand here in Winnipeg. For the larger crowds they've seen here as of late. Full house would have been 15,393. I'm saying already, though, the final game here at the arena is already sold out. The question now is whether or not the Jets can make a legitimate run to the playoffs in the Western Conference. Teppo Numminen ahead to Tkachuk. Pass to Solani. Swept away by Dallas. Eddie Olczyk's wrist shot is hauled down by Jason York and cleared back to the neutral zone. Norm McIver. Near side feed, Numminen ahead to Olczyk, taken back again by Dulles. Well, I'll tell you, Bobby Dulles has certainly held his ground in this one.
They're a tough team to play against for any defenseman because they have so much speed up front. You know, the tendency is to back off for a defenseman when you're faced with that kind of speed, but it's really the worst thing that you can do. You have to fight that tendency and kind of play that in-your-face type of defensive style, and Dallas has done a tremendous job of doing exactly that.
Brian, our next game on KCAL will be Sunday, February 4th at 5 when the Ducks take on Jeremy Roenick and the Chicago Blackhawks live from the Arrowhead Pond. Be sure to tune into Prime Sports, though, on Wednesday where the Ducks return home to take on Theo Fleury and the Calgary Flames. Coverage begins at 7 with Ducks on Ice. And a reminder, all Mighty Ducks games can be heard on KZY 95.9 FM and the Mighty Ducks Radio Network.
Where do the Mighty Ducks have won their last 6 games against the Calgary Flames? Yep. Really seem to have their number this year.
But, again, it'll be a different Flames hockey club. Not just in the complexion, the way they play the game, but now Gary Roberts returns to the lineup as well.
What a return he has had. 4 games in it, or 4 goals, rather, in his first 2 games back. Remarkable.
Roberts. And the Calgary Flames again paying a visit Wednesday night to the Pond, and good seats remain for that one. Dave Manson rattles the puck in deep. David Sacco to David Carpa. He'll head man to Paul Kariya. Kariya churns up the right wing boards, double teamed in over the line. Pass down low, intended for ball. Intercepted. Jeff Finley along the near board. To Darren Turcotte. 5:45 to go in the game. Ducks lead by a goal. Gary Vault churns up the left wing boards. Chops it in end over end. Out of the net comes Cheveldae to play it. Darren Turcotte weaves around Krieger. Steps up over the line. Faces though he's going to shoot and then floats one wide of the net. Norm McIver with 3 assists in the game already. Gives it up to Teppo Numminen. Inside the zone, Turcotte chops one in on goal, and Hebert confidently kicks it aside. Ducks take it back with Krieger. Feathering a pass to Sillinger and over the line. Sillinger waiting, trying to get off a quality shot. Along the backboards, McIver to Stapleton.
See how high that third Mighty Duck forward is entering the Winnipeg zone. So normally you'd like to see a guy driving to the net, but when you're protecting a one-goal lead, you want to make sure you have at least one guy staying high, and against Winnipeg, maybe the fourth guy as well.
Here comes Tkachuk barreling in on goal. Steps right around Ladouceur, tries to deal out front. He'll take it back. Tkachuk deep in the corner, taken down as Sillinger comes away with the puck. 3-on-2. The trailer's York. Sillinger steps up over the line, tried to drop it back, but Olczyk hit his man to uncover. Slap shot in on goal, and a save by Cheveldae as Solani quickly turning back up ice. Teemu Solani tries to blow around Joe Sacco, throws a pass out front that deflects to the near boards. Base of the circle. Corkum. Bank pass to Gary Ball. Taken back by Winnipeg. Igor Korolev to Jeff Finley. He aggressively plays it into the near corner. Shamnov's turnaround shot nonchalantly gloved and held by Guy Hebert. Ducks lead by a goal. Don't go anywhere.
So what's the big surprise?
Nick's tickets.
American Express?
I got a little proposition.
Whoa! Hey, you got my ticket!
Think again, my friend.
Hold it!
The American Express card. It's just the ticket. I'd have gone to the moon for these.
Tell me about it.
Hey, guys, what do they call this, Bud? Ice? Ice brewed.
No, the bottle looks like ice.
The bottle does look like ice. It's ice brewed, Jack. The bedhead?
The bottle is jagged and it looks like ice.
Ice brewed, Jack.
Jagged.
Hey, you guys.
Take it outside.
Okay, Coach.
Bud Ice, the official beer of the Hanson brothers.
Stupid machine took my quarter.
Chris, now I'm going to finish that story. A very aggressive realtor flew into Winnipeg, took all the players out, treated them to a nice dinner, put on a video presentation, passed out pamphlets about housing projects he's sure that they would be interested in when they relocate to Phoenix next year. You got to admire the creativity of that guy.
Jets also planning a big trip down to a Phoenix resort during the All-Star break, just like the Ducks are planning to head up north to Whistler. Take in the sights around the Phoenix area and become a little bit more acclimated. Drop pass to Gary Balkin over the line. Karam off the boards. Collected by Cheveldae and then quickly ahead to Zamnov. Zamnov steps up over the line. Looking for Solani. He missed everything. Along the near boards, David Sacco is able to muscle the puck back out to center ice, where Gary Valk will step up and lay it in deep.
You know, I've really been impressed with the game that Gary Valk has had tonight. He has been extremely aggressive all over the ice. I think that Ron Wilson will have him out quite a bit in the remaining 3 minutes of this hockey game to protect that lead.
At center ice, Steve Ruchin. Pass intended for Sillinger, played by Cheveldae to the far corner. Ruchin, one-time shot, and Cheveldae played it to the backboard. Ducks drop back into a defensive posture. Baseball-like swat by Sillinger. Played to the near side where Turcotte will clear it back inside the zone. 2:45 to go in the game. We'll keep an eye on the clock. Ladouceur and Darren Turcotte watches Stapleton, collects the loose puck, and York is there to intercept and clear the zone. 2.5 minutes to go. Stepping up, Turcotte, backhand shot, just wide. Sillinger to Krieger. Go play it back inside the Winnipeg blue line. 2:15 to go in the game. Ducks 5, Jets 4. Teemu Solani in the midst of a 9-game scoring streak. Double teamed as he enters the zone. Sean Van Allen headmans the puck to Bob Corkum. All kinds of time, and he laid it right onto the tape of Tkachuk.
So critical when you get the opportunity to clear that defensive zone at this stage in the hockey game. It has got to go out and got to go out hard.
And it's got to go out along the boards. Don't throw it out through the middle. Ducks try to clear the zone. Kept in far side, Finley. Karpa overskates the puck. Tkachuk has lost his stick. Sean Van Allen gets help from Bobby Dallas, and he'll just chop it back to the blue line of Winnipeg.
Keep our eye on Tim Cheveldae. You can expect to see him leaving that Jet net in the near future.
Minute 20 to go in the game. Chance of go, Jets go, emanate from the arena. Manson responds by throwing it back in on goal. Hebert leaves it off for Gary Volk in the far corner. His clearing attempt kept in by McIver, but the Ducks take it back 2-on-1. Ruchin to Paul Correa. Steps up over the line, back to Ruchin, moves it on. Goal shot, hit the post. And Winnipeg cut back the other way. Keith Tkachuk moving to the outside. His right wing feed is taken down by Volk, but Shamnoff with it. Shamnoff out of the corner. Rough ride from Robert Dirk, who pounces on the loose puck. Shamnoff lost his helmet. Fans wanted a penalty.
Good aggressive play by Robert Dirk. He's just going to manhandle Alexei Zhamnov. Look at Zhamnov. Now remember, he's the puck handler, and Dirk is just going to run right over the top of him and drive him into the boards. The helmet of Zhamnov actually fell off. Here's Ruchin, makes the play he was trying to, walks right around Cheveldae, and Cheveldae gets the good bounce off the post right out through the crease, and the Jets still have life. 37.3 seconds remaining in regulation time with the face-off deep in Anaheim territory.
Unofficially, Brian, I have the Ducks with at least 3 post shots here tonight. I think 1 in each period. Actually, 2 this period. You had the Paul Correa shot off the post, and now 1 by Ruchin. And I think Correa get the post back in the opening period.
Terry Simpson setting up the play over at the Winnipeg Jet bench. See him diagramming it out. They'd like to win this draw and get it back into the hands of Teppo Numminen. Remember, Numminen is the guy who has that ability to get the shots on the goal under pressure. You see the guy on the right side of your screen, Keith Tkachuk. He will be set up in front of Guy Hebert. We've always seen how proficient he is at deflecting that puck down low. Don't let Numminen get the puck. That will be what Ron Wilson is telling his guys. Of course, the face-off is critical. Van Allen, Ruchin head out for Ron Wilson into the face-off circle. Wilson puts 2 centermen out on the ice in case one of them gets kicked out of the face-off circle by the linesman. All the action predicated on who wins the draw.
Taking a look at the bodies on the ice, Correa, Ruchin, and Van Allen up top for Anaheim. Back on defense, Dulles and Ladouceur. Eastwood, Shamnoff, Solani, Eddie Olczyk, Keith Tkachuk, and Teppo Numminen for Winnipeg. Face off to the left of Guy Hebert, 37 3/10 seconds. One-time shot, Solani, save Hebert, and the rebound collected.
It was actually Teemu Solani who slid out off the face-off alignment to receive the pass by Numminen. Numminen does a terrific job just keeping that puck inside the zone. There's the one-timer. See how far Keith Tkachuk, who was down on his knees, was in the high slot? That's because Steve Ruchin just cross-checked him from behind. That cleared the lane for Hebert to handle the point shot from Solani.
Another timeout on the ice with 32 7/10 seconds remaining in this hockey game.
This time it's Ron Wilson. He clearly was upset that that play was available for Solani to get the clear shot away on Guy Hebert. Watch in front of the net. Watch the action down low. You see Keith Tkachuk right there? He's getting manhandled by Bobby Dallas, who comes out high, clears Tkachuk out of the way. That's not an easy thing to do. Now what Ron is talking to his players right now is he's talking about a couple of different scenarios. What happens if that puck goes back in the hands of Teppo Numminen? He wants a certain kind of coverage, and he wants to take away that one-timer shot to Solani. Now, of course, the face-off is on the opposite side of the ice. So Terry Simpson is diagramming a different plan. You don't expect to see Solani, who's the right-handed shot this time, sliding out to the off wing. Perhaps it will be Alexei Zhamnov that they want Numanen to feed down low. And if Numanen is given time, he'll just fire it into the crease area. With the extra body on the ice, the Jets will try and create all kinds of havoc in front of Guy Hebert.
Just one change in Ron Wilson's lineup now. Sean Van Allen takes the seat and Bobby Corkum steps on for Anaheim. It appears as though it's a matter of angles here, Brian, with Corkum being a right-handed shot on the draw. Ruchin took the face-off the last time. Corkum this time against Eastwood for Winnipeg. Linesman waiting for players to step into position. Sticks down, puck dropped to the ice, Eastwood. Out of the corner, side of the net. Centered out front, Solani save, Hebert! Big pile-up out front as Teemu Solani took that pass, flush on the tape, and threw it right into the body of Guy Hebert.
You know, I don't
5 and 2/10 seconds left.
I don't think he throws it into the body of Hebert. I think this is just a tremendous leg save by Hebert. It's a bang-bang play out front. The Jets get the puck in behind the net, and the Ducks are a little bit unsure about how to defend this. But look at Solani. He gets it on his stick, quick shot, and I think it's the right leg of Guy Hebert. What tremendous reaction shown by Hebert. Here's another look at it. It's tough to see with all those bodies down below. Hebert makes a brilliant game-saving save.
39th shot on goal for the Winnipeg Jets. Now there's some discussion in the referee's semicircle. Bobby Corkum and Teppo Numanen both take a seat in the penalty box. Both coaches curious on the bench.
It's going to be an even-up call. This will change this from a 6-against-5 to a 5-on-4. A little bit more room on the ice. The Winnipeg Jets. Bobby Dulles was trying to sell the linesman that the faceoff should come outside of the zone. He actually skated that puck out to the faceoff dot. In fact, because all the Jets were crashing down in front of the goal crease, it doesn't matter that their defensemen were in because they were already in before the linesman blew the whistle.
Both players go for roughing at 19:34. And as Brian pointed out, with the net to our right empty, Terry Simpson's Winnipeg Jets have 5 players out on the ice, 4 in front of Guy Hebert for Anaheim. Dallas, Van Allen, Ladouceur, and Ruchin. Puck one back to Zhamnov. In tight quarters, Zhamnov steps up, shoots, tipped in on goal. Solani again, and there was Steve Ruchin to cover him. Shot the other way. It's over. Ducks score into an empty net to salt this one away.
Tell you what, terrific action again. Guy Hebert comes up with the clean save, and Solani once again gets that puck in the slot. Watch the rebound right onto the stick of Teemu Solani under pressure from Steve Ruchin. He can't get a clean shot away, and Van Allen, who's just desperately trying to clear the zone, guns it all the way down the ice into the wide open goal. But here it is again. Look how close Teemu Solani is to getting an uncontested shot. What a tremendous defensive play by Steve Ruchin.
So the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim will collect their 16th win of the year. Points 36 and 37. They'll hopscotch past Edmonton. And will now move into 5th place in the Pacific Division. Ducks about to take a 9-2 series lead all time against the Winnipeg Jets. Time winds down on this one. Van Allen's goal coming at 19:47. And Guy Hebert of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim finished the 6-game road trip at 2-3-1.
Well, they actually turned this road trip, which was starting to look pretty dismal in the last couple of hockey games, into a pretty decent one. 2-3-1 on the trip. Very gutty performance by Ron Wilson's crew tonight because they were behind. It seemed like almost all of this hockey game. Eventually were able to take a 5-4 lead, and they persevered with a couple of big saves by that man down the stretch. Very well-deserved 2 points for Guy Hebert.
Well, Brian, it's minus 50 outside, but suddenly things have gotten a little bit warmer. The Jets fall to the Ducks 6-4. Back with a final comment.
The usual kind of news isn't what's going on over the weekend. Most of the people who make the news are doing the same thing you are, relaxing and taking a break.
But big news often doesn't take the day off.
Reporting live from downtown
That's why KCAL 9's Weekend Report is there every Saturday and Sunday. 60 minutes of local news that always gets delivered.
So you can keep on enjoying the weekend or get ready for the week ahead. KCAL 9 News Weekend Report.
In the everyday world, it rains. With the world-class network from GTE, it rains too. You just don't get wet. Change the way you work. Change the way you live. It's amazing what you can do with the world-class network from GTE.
The object in the mirror is the mid-size Dodge Dakota Sport. It comes with more cargo room and more passenger room than a comparable Ford Ranger or Chevy S10. Plus, you get an AM/FM stereo cassette, aluminum wheels, sport graphics, and more. Now, with all this, it might appear that a Dakota Sport would be way beyond your reach. But with $500 cash back, it's actually a lot closer than it appears. Dakota Sport, from America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge.
Can't come to the Olympics in Atlanta this summer? Coca-Cola wants to help share the Olympics with you. It's the 1996 Olympic Torch Relay, proudly presented by Coca-Cola.
Determination, desire, the quest for excellence. Some have it every time they hit the ice. They score! Bud Ice proudly salutes the NHL All-Stars. Great talent and great taste go hand in hand, especially when you put them on ice. Smooth, refreshing Bud Ice, the official beer sponsor of the NHL.
Looks like an egg beater. It's a baby shaving. There's two elephants kissing. It's Gandhi, and he's doing that Heisman Trophy thing.
When you eat a big, juicy Carl's Jr. Double Western Bacon Cheeseburger, you pretty much forget about everything else. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
Chris Matson and Brian Hayward about to take a final look at our Southwest Airlines shots on goal, favoring the Jets on the night 40-38. And in the big column, the Coca-Cola scoring summary. 4-4, Sean Van Allen, his fifth, the equalizer at 8-10. Joe Sacco picks up the assist. Joe Sacco here at the eventual game winner, his sixth of the year at 10:35 from Corkum and Carpa. And then finally into an empty net. Sean Van Allen, second of the game, sixth of the year at 19:47.
Ducks forechecking aggressively. Sacco able to get this puck, and from a seemingly impossible angle, Sean Van Allen finds room under the crossbar to tie this game up at 4 apiece.
Then moments later, Joe Sacco salts this one away for Anaheim.
Good work by Sacco. Look at the way he's driving to the front of the net. That's him right in the middle of your picture. He manages to bang the rebound past Tim Cheveldae.
So the Mighty Ducks, in their final visit to the arena, come up a big winner. Our next game on KCAL will be Sunday, February 4th at 5 when the Ducks take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Tune in to Prime Sports Wednesday when the Ducks return home to host the Calgary Flames. Coverage begins at 7 with Ducks on Ice. And remember, all of the Mighty Ducks games can be heard on KZY 95.9 FM and the Mighty Ducks Radio Network. Mighty Ducks Hockey is produced and directed by Lisa Seltzer. Associate producers Tim Davis and Mark Vittorio. Remote facilities were provided by Mostar Communications. Once again, your final score, Anaheim 6, Winnipeg 4. For Brian Hayward, this is Chris Matson talking to you Wednesday night from the pond. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Tonight's Mighty Ducks telecast has been brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. And by Bud Ice. It's not hockey without ice. Bud Ice and Bud Ice Light, the official beer sponsor of the NHL. And by Del Taco, where you get a lot for what you've got. By Coca-Cola Classic. Always great on ice, always Coca-Cola. And by the Great Western family of companies, now backed by over $44 billion in assets. Great Western will always be there. by Carl's Jr. Try a big, juicy Carl's Jr. crispy chicken sandwich. If it doesn't get all over the place,